The last Wednesday night of April, a massive night of sim racing in this part of the world. We're glad that you're choosing to spend it with us here on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. Welcome back, because we're only here last Thursday with the Porsche Cup, of course, to the home of the famed Grand Prix of Long Beach. It's the Long Beach Street Circuit in California, the setting for both the entree and the main course this evening, and it's an out-and-out night of sprint racing, ladies and gentlemen. 4 races on the program, 2 from the 86s, 2 from the Supercars, a tin-top haven for motor racing fans, and we're looking forward to having you with us for the next 3 hours or so. Good evening, everybody. Adam Lavis is here alongside yours truly, Zach Caven. Welcome to Wednesday Night Motorsport for the final time in April. It is night 3 of week 3 of term 2 on the platforms. No, night 3 of term 2 of week 2. Yeah, anyway. I'm getting myself muddled up here. It's week 3, isn't it? I had it right the first time. Night 3, week 3, term 2, platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. And that is the lay of the land for you, ladies and gentlemen. Cars lining up on the grid for this first heat over 15 minutes. The second will include a compulsory pit stop. It'll be 25 minutes in length. 5:45 local server time. We're going later into the afternoon because we bloody well can on the west coast of America. You know why? They observe daylight saving. A very good evening to our audience in Queensland on that note. Northerly, tending northwesterly winds, the forecast for you. But so far, dry as we have a look at the championship standings. Adam Hayne, 192 points. Cullen Hodgkinson, 165. Richard King, 164. Dale Sharp, 144. And Brett Barker, 143 points. Richard Brookfield, Joel and Henson, Lachlan Purvis, Chris Bleakley and Adam Lavis make up the top 10. Of course, Lavis in here tonight, not out there. So his championship aspirations fast falling by the wayside, unfortunately for him. But, of course, it was part of a switcheroo deal with Daniel Yeaman. There's the grid. Heat 1, ready to fire. Brayden Sagasser, Adam Hayne, front row. Ben Snow, Lachlan Purvis, second row. Stephen Lawrence, Brett Barker, third row. Richard King, Chris Bleakley, fourth row. Alan Dawson, Jordan Pianazzola from row 5. Big field this one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Excited about a couple of names in here. Gary Cousins, Daniel Correa, row 6. Cooper Barnes, Real World XL turned 86 racer. He's alongside Sam Chapman on the 7th row. Jeff Adams, Cullen Hodgkinson, 8th row. Chris Henn, Alex Tzikis, 9th row. Richard Brookfield, Guy Leach from row 10. And still they come. Row 11, Callum Maxwell and Dale Jeffries. Row 12, John Baldwin, Cam Southall. Then you go back to Mitch Wood, Russell Gander, Patrick Savina, Joel and Hansen. Then Jet Murray, Russ Green make up the top 30. Dominic Buddle. We've got non-starters potentially here. We'll wait and see if Jaden Wilcox, Hilton Booth and Robert Gay take to the grid. But David Uni has in 35th position. Have a look at the amount that didn't set a time in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to fire. Long Beach, notoriously tricky circuit. One of our favourite street stops on the tour. One of many throughout this season of Toyota 86 and Supercar racing. For merch.GSRC.inc, let's go to work on a Wednesday night. The standing start quarter come out. There was a little bit of blinky billing going on. But we are away with a field of 35. And already the elbows are out there. 3 wide on the run to 1 and almost making contact. Down to turn 1. Here we go, hard on the brakes. Lockie Purvis drives to the inside, and then into the wall. Oh no, this is going to cause all sorts of trouble. Purvis into the wall at 1, trying to get down on the inside of Braden Sagasa. Can you believe this? And it is a log jam roadblock as they get to the fountain. Oh, Long Beach delivers again. And if that's not enough for you, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an invert top 10 for race 2, so more fireworks on the way. Back straight first climb. Jump start also Stephen Lawrence. Jeff Adams has got a mechanical meatball flag. Good evening to you, Adam Lavis. Probably one of those nights where you're happy to be in here, not out there.
Give or take, yeah, either or. But yeah, it's obviously surprisingly had some pace last week in the Porsche, so it might have been all right on the GR86 as well, you never know. But yeah, very lucky Purvis there, one of the top runners there, making a big boo-boo at turn 1. That's going to be very costly.
Indeed it is. Oh, look at this. 3 wide of the rundown. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Andrew Neal. Good evening to you. Not in here with us, of course, tomorrow night. Matty Schmidtke doing the double for Thursday Night Motorsport this week. We know you're on assignment elsewhere, mate. We hope you're having fun with that. We'll see you next week. In comes Stephen Lawrence to serve that drive-through penalty, and it is a long drive. Oh, trouble on the run of pit lane. Oh, my goodness. We know it's a long run down through pit lane here on the streets of Long Beach. That's cruel for Stephen Lawrence and pretty much leaves him playing catch-up for the balance of the evening. He'll plummet almost to the back of the field, bar those that have run into trouble on the opening lap. Jet Murray, Robert Gay, Jaden Wilcox, Hilton Booth were non-starters. Lockie Purvis, Jeff Adams, Stephen Lawrence all on pit road. Lawrence to get a fast repair. Adams for the mechanical meatball and Lawrence for the drive-through. Sagasa leads from Bernie Snell. He was looking forward to this last week, wasn't he? I couldn't quite believe it when he said, and it was great to have him in the booth having a chat with us post-Porsches, Adam, and Andrew Neal was here for that. But I couldn't believe that he hadn't brought Long Beach for the longest time. He had the old test track, the old scale version of Long Beach that iRacing had way back in the day. But this is the first time that he'd gone tearing around on the modernised real configuration, and it was fantastic from him to go toe-to-toe with Sam Chapman there in the tail end of race 2. But that prepared him very well for the rip-tear rush and bust that is Toyota sprint racing, no doubt. Have a look at the log jam further back in the pack. Suzuka's down on the inside, actually on the outside, being relegated.
I gotta say, given these cars that don't have the big top speed, they look like they're going real fast with a hairpin.
Yeah, exactly. They're not holding back, are they? They're leaving nothing on the table. Cullen Hodgkinson out there for the 1-9 stable has been passed by Alex Tzitzikas. Wow, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of that. Braden Sagasa leads the race by half a second, and there's a slowdown for Chapo. Purvis on the comeback trail. Adams and Lawrence on the comeback trail. Not an ideal start for those blokes tonight. In fact, Purvis is showing a lap down at the moment. I think he had to get on the tow rope. He was on the pit road for 1 minute and 47 seconds. So that's him rubbed out of contention completely in this race. And it's going to be very hard to get back inside the top 10 in the second race, quite frankly, from that far back in this size of field. Promising numbers in the 86s, Adam. I must admit, last time I was with you, week 1, I was with Yeoman, actually. That wasn't the best field that we had line up. That was the jump start for Stephen Lawrence. And then he got it into neutral, and then,
How did the 1.9 car get away with it?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, actually, truthfully, he didn't, because look what happened at turn 1. Karma, right? Oh, no. Look at this. Too deep into the corner. Way too deep. Way too committed. Yep. Bang.
Oh, that's what's got Hayne.
That's Jeff Adams. Yeah.
No, it's not Hayne.
Oh, that was Haynes. Sorry, yeah. So I wonder how Jeff Adams sustained his damage. Is that in the next replay?
I'm not sure
yet. Is that up here at the fountain? No. Have a look at the ticket towing through there. So let's have a look here. This was Mitch Wood. And, yeah. Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense. There was a crash further up. Callan Hodgkinson now showing on pit lane as well. I'm not 100% sure of the reason for that. And Jeff Adams was trying to get down into pit lane, and someone helped him in.
He was on the wrong side of the track there.
Yeah. So probably a double invoice potentially coming the way of Jeff there, trying to cut across the 3 lanes of traffic. To go with the added insult to injury that is the mechanical black flag. Chris Blakely too deep to turn 1.
1.9s are trying to do their best orbit drop air impersonation, just 1 lap apart.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Extraordinary. So Richard King on the inside. We're back live. He is 12th, holding the invert spot at the moment is Alex Dizikis. He's just ahead of Cooper Barnes. I'm so pleased to see Barnesy here. That's terrific. Great to see another real-world racer coming to play his trade. Sim Wilder, no! Cam Southall causes a roadblock in a very famous livery at the hairpin.
Is no good.
No.
Well, he's about to find out when he gets into that straight.
Yeah. So stay with Cam Southall, I think. We might just follow him down to turn 1 here, and he's about to have an awful time by the looks of it. And he's going to have to get out of the accelerator, I think, very early here. Otherwise, it's not going to be a happy old time for him down here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he got away with it. He got away with it. But Barnes didn't. That's Cooper Barnes. Stranded at 1. Benny Snell's got to slow down as well. He loses second to Adam Hayne. Cooper Barnes stranded at 1. And he drops well down the order. In fact, he jumps onto the toe line. Oh dear. So Purvis and Barnes, both front runners, both out of business here in this opening heat. What are we doing? 1 minute 30 lap times? So we're looking good for 10 laps, aren't we? 10 laps in this opening heat. Mechanical meatball for Cam Southall. That is not a surprise to anybody. Adam Lavis pointed out the rear suspension. Jordan Pianazzola and Stefan Lawrence arguing over the same piece of real estate at the moment. Biggest movers. Guy Leach up 11 spots. 10 for Mitch Wood, 11 for Joel Hansen, 14 for Russ Green, 17 for David Unie from the rear of the grid. And Dominic Buttle up 12 so far. Wednesday night Motorsport live at on YouTube, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is the second night of 3 that we are committed to broadcasting for you this week. No word on Friday as yet, and considering I've got a 5 a.m. alarm on Saturday morning, I'm quite happy if we're not broadcasting Friday night, quite frankly, but I'll be here if we have to be. The latest round of the GEC, but I'll leave it up to Adam Lapes to work out who's available to broadcast that one, if any. We know that Neely's in Sydney, of course, at the moment. Callum Maxwell's got up into 20th spot because Chris Hens dropped down to 23rd. Chris Bleakley, Patrick Savina also benefiting from that. And Hens got a mechanical meatball flag, so that'll explain everything. Richard King's also got a mechanical meatball. Oh, there's a few of them being handed out tonight. Lap 6, almost done. 4 to go on those numbers. It's easy when it's 1 minute 30. I love it when it's a 1 minute 30 or a 1 minute 40 or a 1 minute 50 lap. It usually makes the sums of it pretty bloody easy. Up across the start-finish line, down the main straight. Sagassa, Haynes, Snell, Barker. So that 3-way fight for second. Have a look at it. And they're not entirely out of reach of Braden Sagassa at the moment, but he's controlling this race nicely with a 1 second advantage right now on the run down to turn 1. And Adam Hayne is sitting there in second position. Ben Snell, Brett Barker. Here goes Snelly to the inside. Not sure about the tobacco advertising there, quite frankly. Not sure you can get away with that in the real world these days, but hey, it's fair game in the sim world. Snelly close to the wall through the fountain area. So I like it because we've got a Ford and a Holden retro livery on Toyota 86s tonight. Obviously, that's a throwback to the Tirana Golden years and even the early Commodore years, right through until about, what, 1984. It was the last time we saw Marlboro as the primary sponsor of Brocky. He then went to Mobile One for the next, 12, 13 years before he hung up the helmet. And of course, I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that it's 20 years this year since Brocky passed away. And then, of course, the retro Palmer Tube Mills Falcon/Mustang era of Dick Johnson in the 80s as well, through the last of the Group C era into the start of Group A. And then, of course, he went to the Sierra and that long-running partnership with Shell that followed in the year 1987 through to his retirement in 1999. Down onto the main straight, lap 7. This is a cracking scrap. 3 to go, lap 8. Sagasa leads. That was second. The problem is now, Adam, I think they've run out of time. I think that squabbling has helped Sagasa out immensely. He's put another 8/10 of a second on them. He now just has to avoid making a mistake of his own, and I think he's as good as gold.
Yeah, looks like he's got a good lead here, so it looks like he's going to definitely get some points back on his teammate and make the best of the situation.
Drivers from 25th down to 31st have all been in pit lane at some point. Cooper Barnes is still there, so it looks as though he's going to just reset and go again from the rear of the field and get some overtaking practice in race 2. David Uni smacks the wall. That is a big hit. You were mentioning about the high speed they were taking on the run of the hairpin. Doesn't help when you can't square it up for the exit. That was what happened to Chris Hen. We didn't actually catch the incident for Cooper Barnes, but it was in a similar spot on the circuit. Lockie Purvis still sludging around in 30th, and Richard King in 29th, and Stephen Lawrence 28th. So I like it because we've got that usual invert top 10, and then we've got some heavyweights that are going to be flexing their muscle from the back of the field. Oh no, oh no. So poor old Coop just had nowhere to go there because Richard King has bounced off the wall into him like he's a pinata. And yeah, that's how Coop's been caught up in all of that. Righto, John Baldwin here under pressure. He's got Mitch Wood and Russ Green. Wood to the inside. Nicely done. I love it. Neely's more talkative in the comments section on YouTube than he is behind the microphone in the commentary box. Have a look at him. He's on fire tonight. He's right, though. 100% spot on. Braden Sagasa leads us down the main straight. We've got a lap and a half to go. We've got John Baldwin in 13th spot at the moment, trying to get by Russ Green. Trying to keep Green at bay. Side by side. We go! A big shot! That is a massive crash, and John Baldwin is gone! What the hell? Talk about crashing in a straight line. We saw the big one at Talladega the other morning. We were talking about crashing in a straight line so much at the end of last month after what we saw in the V8 Pro at Sebring, and then obviously in other races that we had after that. And all of a sudden, there you go, Russ Green and John Baldwin have given race control a bit of work to do. Although actually it looks as though it's going to be post-race for race control. Good luck, Woodsy. All the best, mate. Jordan Pianazola's got a mechanical meatball flag, so too does Mitch Wood. Oh, more trouble! More trouble! Dale Jeffries gets through. And he's left Patrick Savina behind. And Russell Gander as well. Oh, my goodness. Purvis and Bleakley have swapped around as well. Oh, hang on. Don't tell me that was Bleakley. Was that potentially... Can we pick up Chris Bleakley? Or has he had a packet walk and dropped out of the server? Actually, that's... I'll pay that nearly. Well done. I don't mind being thrown under the bus. Yeah, packet loss for Chris Bleakley. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering who it was that, whether it was lap traffic or whether that was a positional battle for Dale Jeffries. That's unfortunate. I think it was Patrick Savina. Jordan Pianazzola's come to pit lane. John Baldwin remains there. Cooper Barnes, it now looks like, has actually exited the server. That's disappointing. But I was looking forward to seeing him go around in race 2. That's friendly fire from Neely. I like it. I'll just have to keep some up my sleeve for next week. Righto. Let's have a look at this incident again. And it was Lockie. Oh, it was Lockie Purvis. That was Purvis. So it was lap traffic. Oh, dear. At least something's gone right for 1-9. On a night where a few of their would-be contenders have run into trouble, this guy has been formidable at the front. Not for the first time this week. Brayden Sagas is in victory lane, but this time it's in the 86s with thanks to merch.GSRC.inc. Nicely done. Second win of the season. Of course, got the win in race 2 last week. Second in all of that, Adam Hayne. Third went to Brett Barker, who got by Benny Snell late in the piece. Alan Dawson, Sam Chapman, Daniel Correa, Gary Cousins, Alex DeZickers. Guy Leach gets the invert pole and will lead the field to green. Richard Brookfield, Russ Green, Dominic Munnell, Glenn Jolan Hansen, Callum Maxwell, Dale Jeffries and David Uni, the provisional finishing order through 7th position. Buttle gets to 13th by Hansen on the final lap. Now, Green finished 12th, asterisk next to that after the incident with John Baldwin. And here's Southall on the comeback. Oh no, boys, keep it together. Oh, well done. Hodgkinson picks up a black flag at the end of the piece. Southall's bouncing off the wall. He comes home in 22nd. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Drama, action, excitement, and still another dose of it to come over 25 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I think this will be our biggest field of the night. I doubt we'll see this many on the Supercar grid because it is a V8 Pro night and so many of our members are also plying their trade over there on the platforms of the ASRG and the SimSpeed Esports Network. We wish all of our boys over there the very best of luck, and our commentary colleagues as well. The race, the broadcast, they're just getting started. I would encourage you to put that on the watch list for a little bit later on, because it's right at Atlanta and it's sprint racing for them tonight. But stay with us for the next 3 hours. Daniel Correa, well done. Great from him to sneak into 7th in the end. Talk about positions gained and lost. He gained 5 of them throughout the course of the race. Sam Chapman gained 8 of them. 18 for Russ Green, Dominic Buttle, and also David Uni, but Uni didn't qualify, so there'll be no bonus points for him in all of that. Buttle, I don't think, qualified either, because it was, I think, only the top 30 qualified. There were 5 that didn't register a time, so that would give Russ Green, provisionally, most positions gained in that race. But, of course, if he inherits a penalty for that incident with John Baldwin, then it all comes back to the drawing board. Sagasa by 3.19 from Hayne, Barker, Snell, Dawson, Chapman, Correa, Cousins, Tzickas, Leach make up the top 10. Then Brookfield, Green, Buttle, Hansen, Maxwell, Jeffries and Uni, with Savina, Gander and Adams making up the top 20. Good comeback from Jeff in the end in all of that. Over the page, Southall caught up in drama early, Pianazzola as well. Lawrence back to 23rd, Hodgkinson, Baldwin, Wood, King, Hen, Purvis, Bleakley. And Barnes has exited stage left, and Bleakley with packet loss, so we're probably down to 29 for this next race. Now, these are the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We are live across Facebook and YouTube. We're here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophi.AI, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. A big thanks to them for their ongoing input, their ongoing support to the platforms of the GSRC. Now in season number 25, don't forget tomorrow night, Formula V from Summit Point, the Porsches from the Red Bull Ring, same time, same place, same channel, 7:25 Eastern Standard Time for all of that. Now, a couple of other bits of housekeeping to get through here. A lot more cloud hovering overhead than what we saw in the first race, so we'll get to the forecast in just a moment. didn't get back to cover all of that off once we got into reading the grid there, but fine and sunny for race 1. Let's hope the rain holds off for race 2. At the moment, it is saying overcast. Well, 22 degrees on track, 20 the ambient. And we've gone to the next day for some reason. So it's a Saturday-Sunday sort of feature, in this case, what is it, Tuesday-Wednesday sort of feature this time.
Have SDK finally got that date thing working?
Possibly, yeah. So race 1 Saturday, race 2 Sunday sort of vibe going on here at the moment. We've just vaulted forward in time.
I've been doing that since day dot with the qualifying and race, with the practice on one day and the qualifying and race the next day. And every time we watch the broadcast, it always shows the first day on the day.
Yeah, I know. Oh, dear. How good. Righto, we're lining up. We're ready to rock and roll. Going to have to keep their wits about them here, Adam, because, as we know, invert top 10, so that brings with it the high risk, high potential for drama. And also, they're going to have to be crafty with how they go about it from a strategic standpoint, because they've got a compulsory splash and dash somewhere along the way here. Guy Leach, Alex Tzikis, front row, Gary Cousins, Daniel Correa-Sar, second row, Sam Chapman, Alan Dawson, third row, Ben Snell, Brett Barker, Adam Hayne, and Braden Sagassa make up the top 10. Brookfield Green from 6, Buddle Hanson from 7, Maxwell Jeffries from 8, Uni Savina from 9, Gander Adams from 10, Southall and Pianazola from 11, Lawrence Hodgkinson from 12, Baldwin Wood from 13, King Hen from 14, and Purvis makes up the field in 29th position. Apologies, we've lost the graphic there, but as you can see, overcast, cool morning as we get ready to fire. Who will reign supreme in the feature for round 3 of the merch.tgsrci.com Toyota 86 Kazoo Racing Challenge? Let's find out. Let's go to work.
Much cleaner
Can
stuff.
we get away cleaner than what we did in race 1? So far, yes. I'm going to reserve judgment until we get through turns 1, 2 and 3 though.
Kyle Leach with a good jump.
Magnificent jump. Here's Cousins down the inside. Trouble further back. There was contact. Dominic Buddle caught up. Oh, no. What's going on there from Russ Green? He's not had fun so far, has he, tonight, Russ Green? Have a look at that. He's caught up in drama there early and just told Buddle exactly what he thought of it. Cousins has been relegated to 6th there by Chapo, going into P5, and up on his outside now is Benny Snell. Have a look at this. Actually, that's the inside for Snelly, and the outside for Chapo. You're right, it could get hairy. Chapo and Snell very familiar with one another's company after the Porsche race last week. They got it through there cleanly. Gary Cousins, the unknown, entered the all that. He's now under pressure from Brett Barker and getting gobbled up as though he's standing still. Poor Gary Cousins. Oh dear.
In his ears
Down to 28.
Poor guy's getting his ears boxed here. He needs to calm himself down, get himself a rhythm, get himself back up that front position.
Down to 27 actually in all of that. Callan Hodgkinson also not taking the start for the second race. And Patrick Savina riding the ripple strip there through turn 9. Much cleaner opening lap than what we had probably anticipated until we get to here, of course, and then it just becomes a bottleneck. As you can see, everybody getting checked up. Good racecraft awareness there from everybody to take evasive action to avoid a check-up and a contretemps. Now, that's Guy Leach to turn 1, chasing Alex Tzikis, who's got clear air, and I'm struggling to think of the last time Tzikis had any sort of clear air on the platforms of the GSRC at the head of the field. But he's under pressure from Leach. Correa-Sar, Dawson and Chapman, 3, 4 and 5. Benny Snell in 6th. Adam Hayne, Braden Sagassa, Brett Barker and Gary Cousins make up the top 10. Callum Maxwell, David Uni, Joel and Hanson, Cam Southall and Dale Jeffries take us back to 15th. Stephen Lawrence, then Jeff Adams, Jordan Pianazola, Russell Gander and Patrick Savina make up the top 20. Chris Hen has been through the pit lane as well. Sudden Windows update has killed Bleakley. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. I always make sure that I have the boxes ticked that does not happen during broadcast hours. That was one of the first things I did when I set up this new computer of mine at the start of the year, Adam. I was like, not having a bar of that.
Yeah, you definitely need to find the settings for the Windows schedule so it doesn't interrupt you and just start doing things at the wrong times. You're going to tell it when you're peak and off peak time so it doesn't when you're not using the computer.
I can cop it shutting me off at about 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, when I A, should be in bed, or B, am not working. But between 7 and 11 p.m, no thank you very much. Righto, down the inside, Alan Dawson under pressure here. And goes to third. Gets by then the Korea Saab. Very snell is fifth. Adam Hayne, Sam Chapman arguing over the same piece of real estate. Hayne winning that battle for the moment, but Chapo's ranging up alongside him. Trying to go with Benny Snell. Hayne in seventh. Sagasa is eighth. That's already illustrating how hard it is to find your way through here. And look at the margin, the advantage that first and second have managed to muster up here. To Zickers and Leach already 3.75 seconds clear on Alan Dawson. Daniel Carrier having an almighty run in fourth, exactly where he started. He and Dale Jeffries and also Richard King remain the only three drivers in this field with the positional gain of 0 right now. Everybody else, there's pluses and minuses, flipping and flopping all over the place here. So Gasser up into seventh now, gets down on the inside, gets by Chapman, yep. Next target is Adam Hayne. Different look for HGS Racing in the 86s, but I think we established that a couple of weeks ago.
I think they haven't got a livery, so they're just all using like either defaults or randoms.
That was forceful from Sagasa to keep Chapman at bay, and I'm sure they interlocked there for a moment. Really lucky to get away with those two. Much cleaner first 3 laps of the second heat here. Are we in the window to go down pit road? Well, John Baldwin and Mitch Wood would have you believe that we are. Dominic Buddle running into trouble. He's on the tow rope and out of business. Brookfield, Adams, Purvis, Hen, King and Hanson. Oh, the check up at turn 1. Lucky that everybody was relatively unscathed in all of that. I'm not sure how much he did so far down the order. Did he pick up a black flag jump start as well as Chris Head?
I didn't see it at all. These guys are in each other.
Oh, Daniel Correa Saar is getting hustled and bustled here, trying to hold his own. Sagas is going to take 2 for the price of 1. He goes straight through on Adam Hayne, and Chapman goes with him. Correa Saar way out to dry. Jazekas is done as well. Look at the rim. Look at the front left of that car.
He's done what I did last week.
Exactly what you did in the Porsche.
Yeah, I heard the noises in the background.
Oh no! Tzekis is out of it. Can you believe that for the JMR entry? Lawrence's comeback continues as well. Barker's got to slow down to his name. Tzekis on the tow rope. All hell breaks loose on lap 4. Unbelievable. Reach, Dawson, Snell, Sagasa, Hayne and Chapman, then Barker and Correa Saar. That totem pole has seesawed somewhat significantly. And now Benny Snell gets by Alan Dawson as well. Reach leads this one by 1.2 seconds. How on earth did Guy Leach get away with that? His lead has been sliced in half. It's only 1.2 seconds now on Benny Snell and Alan Dawson and Braden Sagasa, but how the hell did he get away with that?
I just realised even more exactly the same because it was for the lead as well.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're saying, mate, is that as much pain as it brought you at the time, you can actually sympathise with Alex right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I just said at Meatball, my car was still drivable. His car is not good.
Toast. It's going to the wrecking yard. It is completely spent. Just on that, though, a very pleasing result for Woodsy, I thought, in all of that. Obviously capitalising on your misfortune, but then going on and getting it done in the invert as well.
You know, I must have pulled a lap out of my butt to give him in qualifying to get pole because he had mega pace last week. Like we pitted together, and all of a sudden we just came out in front in the second race with no one around us, and he just drove away from me. And he even said, "Oh, do you need the points of championships?" No, mate. You're fast. You win. Go.
I like that. That's very selfless. Thinking team game more than individual, but at the end of the day, yeah, if you earn it, go for it. And it's probably the wrong time of the season, actually. Benny Snell to the inside. Sorry, Adam. Benny Snell to the inside. Gets by. Guy Leach goes to the lead. Alan Dawson's latched on here. Three-way fight for the lead. What's interesting for mine, though, is it was only week 2. Normally, those team conversations, those championship implications don't normally start entering the discussion until much later in the season.
That's what I said. Mate, it's only round 2. You're fast. Go get your chocolates.
I love it. Benny Snell leads from Guy Leach and Alan Dawson. The question is, can he go on with it here? Last week he got reeled in and by his own admission didn't have the pace to go toe-to-toe with Chapman in the Porsche. He said Chapo's pace was mega, and Chapman by his own admission said that he's been forced to step up his game with regards to the Porsche by virtue of the fact that he's representing his team in the Porsche Pro Invitational Series. That's why he wasn't on the grid here last Wednesday night. So Porsche Pro 1 week takes half the drivers out. V8 Pro takes the other half out tonight. But it's great to have so many club representatives in those 2 fields. Down the round onto the main straight. Whoa, Leach got a little bit of a tap there, I thought, from Dawson. Either that or he yanked it sideways. Down onto the main straight. These blokes are aware of the fact that they do need to make a stop at some point here. Looking at the times, Snelly gets across the line the end of lap 6. Probably looking at somewhere around the 18-lap marker. We might squeeze a 19th if we're lucky. Whoa. Wild ride there for Guy Leach. Because Tzika's clattered the inside wall and then got the outside as well. He smashed into the inside wall. That's what ruined the right front suspension anyway in the first place. And then he finished it off with the left. He virtually had nothing to drive with as he headed down the back straight. Unlucky for him. One of the great stops on the tour. One of 4 street circuits this season. We were detailing that earlier. We've already been to the streets of Chicago. We're now here. Then, of course, next week we go to Kota. Then we're back street racing on the streets of St. Petersburg. And then we wait until week 9 to go to the Detroit Grand Prix, the Belle Isle course in Michigan. And then we get a traditional public road course, not a street course per se, but a road course in week 10, 3 wide if you don't mind. Dawson somehow keeping both Sagassa and Leach at bay. But what about the drive from Braden looking for the double? He's 1.7 away from Benny Snell at the moment. Back to the straight they come. He's got the run off the corner. Now we'll tuck back in and follow. John Baldwin's got a mechanical meatball knot for the first time tonight. So that's going to rub him out of business because he's going to need to make a second stop. So Baldwin's night goes from bad to worse. Here's Sagassa lining up Dawson for Riot Sim Racing on the run to turn 1. One of the championship favourites is up 8 spots in race 2. Now the chase for Benny Snell begins. And he's got the fastest lap of the race to go with it as well. It's only 2 tenths quicker than Snelly's best as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. David Unig's night ends. We're in the wall at 1. Fallen foul of that like so many before him. John Baldwin. Yep. Wash, rinse, repeat. Russ Green out of business. Dominic Buttle out of business. Alex Tzika's out of business.
It's one of those corners turn 1 on beaches. Like, when you get it right, it feels so much faster. But as soon as you get it slightly wrong, that tyre water says, hey, come have a chat.
Chris Blakely, just by being able to join the server, albeit 2 laps into the race, so obviously his Windows update is complete. Obviously, he's been able to get back out there. And at the moment, he's just ticking them off. As everybody retires around him, he's climbing up through the field. There he is. 2 laps down is still enough to be classified in a 25-minute race. As I say, we think we're going 16 laps, so you've only got to get 12... Sorry, did I say... hang on. I've got to do that maths again. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 2 is 16.
I think it's going to be 17 or 18.
17 laps. Right, okay. So... So what is it? It's 25 minutes. It's capped at 25 minutes. Normally, if you were setting the server, it would be 16 and 27, but it's 15 and 25, so that's okay. So based on that, carry the trend time of the pit lane as well. We're getting no more than 17.
The odd number ones is when is meant to be when we're actually setting a lap number, just to give us some wiggle room to make the laps work.
Which usually 9 times out of 10 we do. We smash it.
It's time certain we just round to the 15.25.
Yeah, that's right. So, but the fact of the matter is we're doing 90-second lap times. So 1 and 2 that's 3 minutes. Times that by 8, you get 24. That's 16 laps. You're getting no more than 17. So you need to complete, if it's 16, 12 laps, if it's 17, 13 laps. And Chris Blakely well on the way to doing that right now. Slowdowns out there at the moment from Richwood and also for Russell Gander.
Purvis has played a good strategy here. He's pitted on lap 2. Yeah. As long as there's enough fuel to get to the end here, he is carrying the leading car on pit strategy. He may play himself back into this race here.
May well. It's still 40 seconds off the leaders, though. That's his problem right now. But look at this. Look at this. So Gasser has gone in the front. He's got by Snell. Snell under pressure from Dawson. Leach, Hayne, Chapman and Barker all latching on. Top 7 covered by 2.5 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Get that up here. Have a look at it. How good's that on a Wednesday night?
So 40 seconds is also the pit transit. So that means he probably won't be in this top group, but he might be able to get into or ahead of the second group.
Well, you talk about it being a 40-second pit transit. That's why I'm wondering whether we're actually going to be able to get that 17th lap or not. Because the carryover time...
It looked like they crossed the line almost exactly half race distance, so it's probably very unlikely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've still got half a lap of this lap to go. If it was around 90 seconds, that'd be easy. You know, you'd say that they would get that 17th lap. But at the moment, there's no wriggle room with that carryover time. Here's what happened to Benny Snell. So this will explain how Sagasta was able to get his way by. Snell's gone way wide. He's tried to go into the Formula E, what do they call it? The boost zone?
No, he's forgot it's not qualifying. He's on the qualifying strap.
Yeah. Oh dear. That's unlucky for Snelly to lose the lead in that way. Chapman's right there in 6th at the moment. Can he get to the inside? No, he can't. Try and set up the run down the main straight. Who's coming to pit lane? A few of them are.
Alan Dawson.
Just Alan Dawson. So Dawson bailed out.
So this will be interesting to see because Dawson's in this group. So we'll see it. We're now going to gap how far ahead of Purvis he comes out.
Exactly. So this is fascinating. Particularly if you're Lockie Purvis trying to buy your way back into the mix after a very disappointing night out so far. Jeff Adams on the comeback trail as well, back up into 17th. Stephen Lawrence back up into 18th. All the guys that ran into trouble earlier on going very nicely. Well, yeah, so just to answer that, I saw the same thing. And I'm wondering if it was a drive-through for both those guys, Fun ZR32, because I don't know who the name of the person is. I've just got to go up and use the handle into the wall. Oh no! Long Beach turn 1 bites again. I noticed I saw Penn go in, but I didn't see him stop. I didn't see any time ticking on that pit transit on my timing screen here, courtesy of SDK. I'm wondering if it wasn't a drive-through.
So Brookfield, Hand and King have all transited with no stop time.
Okay, so that means they've served a drive-through.
That would be the best assumption.
So that probably means that they still need to stop in this race. So that rubs them out of contention because the second transit around here just crucifies you. So take them out of 16th, 17th and 18th, they're plummeting down the order. The best placed of those to have stopped is Alan Dawson. Now, the margin on Lockie Purvis is 5 seconds. Daniel Correa-Sar, next one in. So there is a bit to try and pick apart in all of that. A fair bit, actually, quite frankly. Patrick Savina, John Baldwin, both with mechanical meatballs. Baldwin's been on pit road for 6 minutes now, so he's not coming back. He's done. Put the line through him, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Hand down the inside of Brookfield. And King goes with him. Down the main straight they come. Whoa, hang on. This might not end well. Oh, hello, Adam. Adam Funfight, good on you, mate. Of course, you made Wednesday nights on Traeger home last term in the Legend cars. Okay, yeah, that'll be an interesting one to... Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll probably have to go back in and have a look at that on the replay file, Adam, just to verify any of that. We might be able to do that in the post-race show. You might be able to bring up some footage at the end of lap 1 there, just to verify what Adam's saying. Like, I'll take it, because again, we're trying to watch 29 different stories play out there. But we do need to go back and have a look at the footage, because again, nothing showing on our SDK timing.
Yeah,
and nothing showing on your screen at home either.
It's they currently have registered as a 0 stop.
Yeah, correct.
So if they haven't stopped in their box, then it's not going to register it.
No, that's right. Exactly. So that's 3 of them. If they are racing to the end, then they're going to have a case to answer for after the fact anyway. Braden Sagassa in and out. Oh wow, 1.78 seconds for Braden. Not the quickest stop of the night. That goes to Daniel Correa-Sar at 1.08. Are we of the assumption that these boys don't need to take on fuel? They're just they're just ticking the box, fulfilling the obligation?
Possibly.
Chapo would hate that if that's the case.
Yeah, if this is a sort of a low burn track, because it is a lot of sort of stop starting, so there's a lot of, especially that mountain section, long time off the throttle, so there's a potential that the fuel might be able to stretch it. But rules are the rules.
All right, Chapman under pressure from Barker. Reach Pianazola and Southall. The next 3 in line. Top 9 yet to stop, and a question mark hovering over 16, 17 and 18 for very obvious reasons. If there's nothing showing on our leaderboard and nothing showing on yours, although Head and Brookfield are out of it now anyway. Head and Brookfield are gone, and I think Kingy's in trouble too.
Yeah, they're going to have to pit again anyway, so that's going to clear them anyway.
Yeah, Kingy's on the tow rope, so something's happened with the 3 of them, because King's on the tow rope, so let's have a look at this. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Let's have a look. Turn 5.
King's
just gone straight through. Now, what's happened to the other 2? Brett Barker for Injectors Online to pit lane right now. Let's have a look at this. Brookfield and Penn. Where's it all gone wrong for these 2? So it's further up.
Probably someone back in.
Turn 1. Let's have a look at this. Uh-oh. Turn 1. Wait for it. There it is. Bang into the wall. Bang into the wall. Yeah, bang into the rear. Damage sustained by all 3. Goodbye. So yeah, so we don't need to go back and look at the tape now. That's sorted that out quite nicely. Typical Long Beach stop.
They found a way to clear themselves.
Yes, and they will have to, because there are still 2 laps left in this race at the line for Benny Snell, plus the pit lane transit. So I get the feeling. Oh, hang on, let's have a look. Let's keep an eye on this, because Long Beach might do strange things to us.
Well, I think they did it a lap ago, so they would have been. Yeah, they would have been on lap 12, so I don't think they're going to be able to get to lap 16 without the iRacing guide saying, "Well, back."
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. That was my query. You knew exactly where I was going with it. Chapman goes to the front and leads at the start of lap 15. Now, at this stage, if Chapo wants to take it that far, he could get an extra lap out of this race. He can take us to 17 because iRacing will take us to overtime.
If he can get to the white flag, they both missed their box.
Snell and Hayne, well, yes, they did miss their box, but it didn't seem to deter them. Snell goes in 2.5, Hayne in 1.3, Reach in 0.23 of a second. Blink and you miss that bloody stop. Pianazola 3.08, Southall 1.6, and then comes Dale Jeffries now as well. Hammond Brookfield with that mechanical meatball next to their name, they've probably got to come to the lane. Braden Sagassa still remains the best placed of those 2 stops so far, ahead of Benny Snell by only 0.6 of a second. So Sagassa is on track for the double unless Chapo has a better idea. The margin's only 23.1, so, okay. So that's now got me wondering as well. That's got me wondering. Chapo's going to get back to the line with 2 minutes on the clock, so that's not going to trigger the white.
So Kingy's gone back out there, so Kingy's good. He's towed and then gone back out.
And Brookfield's gone in on lap 14, just 10 remaining. Chapman Cousins at the front.
Somehow Kingy's toe, and he's still come out in 22nd.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Chapo is going to take us. Oh, wow. Chapo has taken us to the start of lap 16. We're going to get 17. Chapo is going to take us to 17. Cousins comes in. Chapo is going to take us to 17. Everyone's now going to be wondering whether they've got enough fuel on board because Chapo's taken us to 17. Here's Korea Sar under pressure. He's got Jeff Adams behind him and Southall as well. Southall trying to get by Adams. The battle of the traffic lights here at the moment. 2 ambers and a green. Round onto the main straight. Cousins in and out in 1.6 seconds. But Chapo is going to take us to 17. We are going to overtime whether we like it or not. Hen doesn't have a fast repair left, so risking it and just running it to the end. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you for the intel, Adam. Appreciate that. So I've got one Adam in the comment section and one of my ear in the commentary box. Whoa, here the boys are on the edge. On the ragged edge. Chapo with 23 seconds the advantage over Braden Sagassa and Ben Snell. Adam Hayne there in behind them. Then Brett Barker. This field has spread out significantly through that pit lane transit as they make their way through. Chapman, Sagassa, Ben Snell, Hayne, Barker, Dawson. In comes Chapo now, and white flag will fly this time by the line. Now, my question is, will these guys get back to that line inside 25 minutes or not? By the looks of it, oh, actually, no, I think they will. So,
very tight.
I'll look to that because the pit lane transit wasn't as long as we were suspecting it might be. We are going to go white, and we're going to do so with about 7 seconds on the clock.
No, haven't crossed yet.
4
seconds.
3 seconds on the clock. There it is. Here comes Chapo. Chapo's on the way out. He was there for 4 seconds. He's going to get gobbled up. 4 seconds is not good for Chapo. He's gone. He's out of it. This is a race in 2 right now for Sagassa and Snell. Snell to the outside at 1.
Yeah, he's gone too wide. He's gone over the line, got himself a slowdown. He's crossed too much of that pit line.
So, game over. Sagassa's got the double on the streets of Long Beach. Barker goes through. Chapman back out in 5th spot in all of that. Mechanical meatball still for Chris Hand. Trouble on the run to 1. Stefan Lawrence trying to get down on the inside. Got away with it. Stefan actually up 14 spots into 9th spot ahead of Jordan Pianadola. Then Cousins and Korea Sar. Adams, Southall. Keep an eye on Chris Hand. I think he's going to be getting away with this. But again, I need to go back and have a look at the tape at the end of lap 1, whether he stopped or not. That remains to be seen. Because our timing screen is saying no. No bingo. Oh, contact on the wall. Good fight back, good gallant fight back from Benny Snell, but it's Braden Sagassa who's going to lead us to the final quarter on the streets of Long Beach. Big dive from Snelly trying to get the up and under the run. It won't work. Braden Sagassa back on track, back in victory lane in the merch.tgsrci.com 86 challenge. Wednesday night Motorsports entree goes to the 1-9 stable, and he does the double.
Oh, luckily Purvis back in the pit lane.
Good pickup.
I don't know, it might be Bleakley.
It's Bleakley. 0.34 the margin. Sagassa does the double. 3rd win on the trot for him. Of course, remembering that he was non-classified in week 1, 5th and 1st last week. The double tonight. He has 3 wins on the trot. And there have been 3 different race winners so far this season. Adam Hayne and also, of course, just having looked down through the leaderboard here, Reece Gosner, the other. Oh, there's a name I haven't called in a while. Good to have Reece back. But yeah, how about that, eh? How about that? Sagassa, Snell, Hayne, Barker, Chapman. What went wrong there for Chapo? 4 seconds on the jacks. That doesn't sound right. I'll be interested to see what the status of Chris Hen's stop was, whether he's ticked the box or not. We'll get to the bottom of that for you very shortly, particularly for Adam Funslow, who's curious about that at the moment. As we have now seen, he would have been able to get home based on that anyway. And iRacing have obviously shown some discretion there with the mechanical meatball and let him get to the end on lap 17. I thought that he would have been out for sure, but it's showing 15th at the moment. It's showing plus 24 seconds. We need to go and have a look at the tape. Something doesn't feel right about that. And we need to get to the bottom of what the hell went on at the end of lap 1. Brett Barker in for fourth, Chavo fifth, Dawson Purvis, good recovery, great recovery actually from Lockie Purvis. Then Guy Leach, Stefan Lawrence and Jordan Pianazzola. Gary Cousins, Daniel Carrier in the end outside the top 10. Then Jeff Adams, Cam Southall, Chris Henn, Mitch Wood, Joel Hansen, Dale Jeffries, Russell Gander and Richard Brookfield, the top 20. We'll have a look at all of that in more detail as we go over the page. Maxwell, King, in fact, after Maxwell, everybody else a lap or more down. King and Savina, 2 laps down. Bleakley joined the server late, still got 24 points, well done. And everybody else non-classified, Uni, Baldwin, Tzidakis, Buddle and Green, with Hodgkinson and Barnes non-starters of the second race, and Murray, Wilcox, Booth and Gay non-starters of both. Can we just scroll back up to the top part of that page, please, Adam? The top 20 there. Can we have another look at that? And then we'll have a look at Chris Henn as well. Actually, let's have a look at this first. So he's coming to pit lane. Let's have a look, because this is the part that I'm interested in. Whether there's clear evidence of a stop here, it certainly looks as though that's what he's trying to achieve, but it hasn't registered on our scoreboard. So there it is. And there's the fast repair. So yes, okay, that's fair. Okay, that's legit.
If he's got a fast repair, surely, yes, that's just a timing glitch, so he should be good.
Yep, so that's fine. But again, purely because of the fact that there was no evidence there on our screen to suggest that he had actually stopped. It just looked like a drive-through, and there were three misreadings on that opening lap, which is very rare for SDK, considering that everything else has gone smoothly tonight. Touchwood so far. I don't want to put the blocker on it. I'm glad that we're able to go back and check the tape just to make sure that was all above board. Adam does all the points matrix anyway, so it's up to him to be aware of all of that. And now that he is, those results, I mean, let's be honest, there was no race control, so any in-race incidents, all of that's still going to be provisional until such time as the tape has been reviewed and any requests from the competitors have been investigated. And we'll report back if there's any significant change from that. Actually, on the subject, I do want to go back and tidy up some housekeeping from Monday night at some point with regards to, because we went off air earlier than usual on Monday night, not that anybody was complaining about that. We want to go back and have a look at the tape and have a look at the results, the current point standings for Pro-Am in GT3 and also in Formula 3, because Adam was crunching the numbers for both as we were going off air, but we'll do that a little bit later on. Bernie Snell is here. Brayden Sagasa, Lockie Purvis are here. This is becoming strangely familiar and common occurrence for you lot, which is good news. Poor old Cooper Barnes' initiation into the platform of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, not a memorable one. Having a look at that, caught up in 2 separate incidents at turn 1. That one in the early part of race 1, and then of course the one that brought him undone eventually later in the piece. Yes, but this is becoming a common occurrence to have these three in the house. And Benny Snell, bridesmaid yet again. You can't take a trick around here.
Mate, those bloody slowdowns, I tell you what. I lost second in the first race because of it, and I lost a crack at the win on the last lap because of it as well. So, you know, it is what it is. You got to stay within the track limits, and apparently I don't know what they are.
Well, it's a tough lesson to find out, but you'll remember for next time. Hey, by the way, nice throwback livery there. A Holden livery or a Tirana or a Commodore, depending upon which era. Livery on a Toyota, it goes all right.
Yeah. I've obviously Milo's not a thing anymore, and that was the old thing. So now I'm just going on trading points and finding those old school touring car style liveries with the Marlboro and whatever on it. And hence the digital Durry's Motorsport banner underneath there.
Digital Durry's, I love it. Hey, now let me come back to you in a moment, mate. Stay there with me. Lockie Purvis, Brayden Sagasa are here as well. Hey, Brayden, I'll get to you in a moment because that's a scintillating double. But to you, Lockie Purvis, nice recovery, mate.
Yeah. I jumped the start with a few other lads, and I had to go, you know, full SEM mode to get in front of the pack, and I just sent it to T1. So apologies to a few people that I took out there. That was unfortunate. Race 2 went pretty well, yeah. I started 29th. I think I finished 7th, so it was a good recovery, yeah.
It was a magnificent recovery. Great drive through the field, but I mean, aided by good strategy, also a couple of incidents, obviously, ahead of you and around you, but also good racecraft as well, mate, because you don't make that much progress without cutting up some sort of racecraft and executing some overtaking opportunities along the way.
Yeah, look, we had the pace tonight. Me and Braden put in some work for this one, so it's just unfortunate for race 1. But yeah, race 2, it's just, yeah, I got lucky, but I also
bringing in obviously the misfortune of race 1 into consideration. Not a bad points haul, all things considered. Let's be perfectly honest though, we didn't realise there was a little bit of a tech glitch at your end. We just thought you missed the braking marker. Horrible place for that to happen, I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't know who I followed, but I jumped the start. I was looking in my mirrors, Braden was on my outside, didn't want to take it out, and I slammed on the brakes too hard, slid right into T1.
Oh dear. It was forceful, it was aggressive stuff, mate. It was good. Are you enjoying the 86s? I mean, obviously we're seeing you pop up regularly at the moment in the Formula 3s and the Formula Vs, now here as well. Which of the three are you enjoying more, and which is offering the bigger challenge?
Okay, so I'll rank them. Probably V's will be my number one, just because it's the car driven since I started this iRacing endeavour. And then F3 and then 86s. The F3 is probably the biggest challenge at the moment. It's just it's a different beast to drive.
And this is the thing too, because there's such variance between top speed, handling. Two of them are open wheelers, one of them's a tin top. From your standpoint, obviously, it seems as though you're more open wheel centric, but there's something to be said about applying your trade and expanding your calibre and what you bring to the table as a racer by getting your head around these tin tops as well.
Yeah, it's something new. I've started reaching out towards, you know, road license a bit this year, and I thought I'd give it a go. And you can see the consistency is not that great at the moment, but we're getting there, so thank you, Blade.
Formula V Summit Point tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Thorn Wiggett saying that he's going to join us in the 86s next week. Let me get your thoughts on that. I mean, feel free to give me some thoughts on Summit Point as well. But before that, next week in these, Coda and a regular, so that's going to be a long, elongated sort of 40-minute race for you guys around there. Challenging circuit, technical circuit, but at least it's the short track, not the full Grand Prix layout, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't even know the track, so but I will.
Hang on, what? You don't know Kota? It's only one of the more famous circuits that's hosted Formula 1 over the last 15 years, but okay, whatever. So obviously that's going to give you some work to do this week, getting your head around that.
Yeah. I'm more of a practice guy, so we'll see what next week brings, but in regards to Summit, I think it's going to be probably one of the best races on the series, so we'll see how it goes. It's a tow fest, it's nice and clean, it's very tight towards the end, so we'll see what happens.
All right, mate, very nicely done. We're tight for time here because we've got the Supercars lining up in 15 minutes, so thank you for that. Hopefully a cleaner run next week for you off the start. We don't have to worry so much about sprint racing again in this series until we get to Brands Hatch in week 6. Anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, 1-9 boys, Chris and Braden for showing up tonight. Good job, there.
We'll get back to Braden in just a moment. Thank you, Lockie. Appreciate that. Back to Matty Snell. you mentioned last week getting your head around Long Beach because obviously you had the old test track that iRacing had, the tech set up there. Different beast when you go and play on the real thing with all the nooks and crannies included, all the scenery and distractions that go with street racing. But Porsche to 86, which was better to drive around here?
Honestly, I think the Porsche was, even with the pogo stick front end. The 86 is a fun car, but yeah, it was a little bit awkward around here, just because the front end, especially on this setup's quite doughy, so you kind of find yourself ploughing through the corners a little bit more. But yeah, I think the Porsche is definitely a little bit more fun.
Indeed. How's everything over there in the city of Churches at the moment? Because I know that you do a little bit of real world stuff with drifting and the like. Are you still dabbling in that?
Yeah. I had a hiatus last year. I did my back at work, so I haven't driven in almost 12 months now. But I am driving at the end of next month, May 30th. So anybody that is in Adelaide and wants to come out and watch some drifting, we've got Driftversity out at Malala, so it's a charity event.
Oh, nice. Please feel free to share more details with regard to that because it is for charity. Close to the event, mate, and we'll put a note here to make sure that we remind you or we prompt ourselves to say something to get you to spill some more details as we get closer to the event. Speaking of the 86s in the meanwhile, because obviously it's great to see you back doing what you love, mate. It's great to see that you're bringing that same usual Ben Snell consistency to the table. 40-minute races or sprint races, which is your preference?
Oh, definitely sprint races, especially with the reverse grid. It throws a spanner in the works because I'm quick and consistent, but in terms of outright pace, I'm usually not quite top of the pops. Especially this week, Braden just had so much pace. You could tell he put a lot of work in, and props to him for that. But the reverse top 10s are great because it gives you a little bit of a chance to use the racecraft, and I did a really good job slicing through the field and got a bit of a gap on the other fast boys as they came through. But then of course I copped a slowdown, brought myself back, and then copped another slowdown, let Braden past, and that's all she wrote. Once he was in front, he was gone. He was way too fast for me.
Must have been nice to get one back on Chapo though, because for a moment there I thought he was going to do his usual pull the rug out from everybody by way of crafty fuel saving pit strategy, but he spent 4 seconds on the box and the rest of you spent 2 teaspoons of what.
Yeah, the setup of these, you don't actually need to take fuel. You're well and truly good to the end, so I'm not too sure how he took 4 seconds. I actually missed my pit box at the reverse.
Yes,
so
we did see that.
It's the consistency. I think both weeks here at Long Beach I missed the pit box. So I think I got to put a little bit more work on stopping in the box and not getting in the entry real fast.
In the same way that I need to work on reverse parking in the real world. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Stelly, very nicely done from you. Coda West, your thoughts on that next week before I let you go?
Oh yeah, it's like driving this track when it was the test track. There's just no markers. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're in a sea of tarmac. So and there's plenty of slowdowns for me to find. So I'm sure I'll enjoy myself next week.
Oh, I'm sure you will. We're looking forward to it immensely, mate. Thank you for that. Good to catch up with you. Anyone you want to thank?
Just as always, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast, GSRC for putting on the league and all the work that goes behind the scenes. It's definitely appreciated. And of course, massive thank you to Chloe for letting me run away for a little while.
Well, that's exactly right. Go and enjoy the rest of the night with the other half. Put the feet up, relax. We'll see you for the A1, or what was the A1, the Red Bull Ring tomorrow night. And the latest hit out in the Porsches, mate. Go well.
Thanks, mate.
From Ben Snell back to our race winner, Braden Sagassa. 2 from 2 this week. King of the entree at the moment.
It's been fun. I've really enjoyed these entree races. They put on a really good show.
Well, indeed they do. Although that being said, I would argue that you don't get to see as much of the show when you're tearing at the shreds at the front of it with a clear track ahead of you. But that's the way you'd like it to be more often, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, it's really good to be back in victory lane. It's just like it's fun being at the back, like watching all the carnage at the back. But once you're in it, driving it, it is very scary.
Yeah, it's much better being in the commentary box and watching that sort of drama unfold rather than being out there in the thick of it. Bit of a Code Brown moment when you saw Lockie Purvis throwing it too deep into turn 1, lap 1.
Yeah, I did. I looked into my mirrors. I thought, oh gosh, he's braking late. And then I saw him zoom past and hit the outside wall. But it's so easy to do that. Countless times I think you saw some of the top guys just run a little bit too deep into that corner, and you either go to the runoff or you try and turn to make it, and most of the time you hit that tyre barrier.
From your standpoint, though, had to play the long game, didn't you, in race 2, though? I mean, race 1, obviously, very well done. Tick the box there. Second win on the trot. To go out and back that up and make it 3 wins on the trot in this series, put you back in the championship conversation well and truly, but especially after the non-classified a couple of weeks ago on the streets of Chicago, mate. But more to the point, you had to play the long game and be a little bit patient and smart about how you went about working your way through the field there in race 2. Just talk us through what the plan of attack was.
Yeah, because in previous seasons, a lot of people did mention that I was really ultra aggressive. So I'm really trying to tone it back now. Try and just make methodical moves. Don't try and. I say that I was 3 wide a couple of occasions, but
yes, I did see that.
Yeah. But it's just trying to make smart moves. Don't try and go for any silly dive bombs. And, it's so important for those 0x races that get those bonus points. You can see it for the Formula 3 championship with Aiden. I think he has 20 more bonus points than anyone else in the championship.
Exactly right, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing what this championship points picture looks like at the end of this round. Adam Lave is currently crunching the numbers as we speak. In fact, working on them right now, and we'll get a corrected order for you very shortly. But you're going to vault up well into the top 5 now, mate, so that's exciting times for you. Obviously only one drop round to work with, though. What's your thoughts going into next week, and obviously Coda, and also trying to continue that claw back through the field?
Yeah, I think I'm just at the same mindset, is just make my way through the field. Don't try and get any 4Xs, keep the car on the road, and just try and crawl back. Obviously Adam Hayne, he's got a decent points margin, but he deserves to be up there because he's ultra fast.
And also proving how vitally important consistency is. I mean, he hasn't finished out of the top 5 yet. Has Adam Hayne first, third, fourth, second, third. Really good start to the season for him. And even Brett Barker all finishes inside the top 12 to this point. It's going to obviously jumble a little bit once we bring the drop rounds into the equation in week 7, but that is an interesting picture at the moment, and Lockie Purvis up 2 spots in all that. So 286 for Hayne, 238 for Barker, 212 for Richard King, 206 for Braden Sagassa, and then of course Joel Hansen 204. Lockie Purvis 196, 1 point clear of Richard Brookfield, Ben Snell 190, and then Callum Hodgkinson and Guy Leach make up the top 10. Of course, Guy Leach in week 1 was a non-classified as well. So you've got a commonality there with Guy Leach, but the point of the matter is important to highlight that you've put an extra 45 points on him over the course of the last 2 weeks. So you're in a perfect patch of form at the moment, mate. Can you carry that into Summit Point tomorrow night?
We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, it's a really big giraffe track, so just trying to be at the right time and just make your move on the final corner and pray and hope to the line.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Thoughts on Coda West next week? It's interesting, isn't it, this series, because normally you think Toyota 86s, you think sprint racing based on everything you see here in Australia, at least in the Scholarship Series, and also, of course, the championship prop of the GR Cup. But to have those longer races, a nice little test for you guys. We've already seen 1 round in that format on the streets of Chicago. You'd be praying for no rain next week at Coda, I'm sure.
Yeah, me and Rain do not gel too well together. So, yeah, I'm excited for total this. You know, those endurance races, they reward consistency and just staying out of trouble and, just trying to get to the end of the race.
Mate, very nicely done. Here's your opportunity. Thank you whoever you want.
Obviously, I want to thank Chris and Lockie for coming out, especially Chris for making these amazing liveries, and Lockie, I saw him really on pace in practice, and also shout out to my mum and my pop for watching me do these races.
Pass on from to Bleakley from Adam and I that he needs to go into his settings and make sure that he selects the options that necessitate Windows updates occurring outside of racing hours.
Yeah, I'll make sure to let him know when I hop back into the chat.
We couldn't believe that when we heard that that's what brought him undone. Oh dear. The old trusty Windows update. But you know what it means? We're all going looking and wondering when ours are coming in because if they're rolling them out, sure enough, we're going to get alerts over the next couple of days to say, when do you want to restart your computer? Well, as I say, mine's already set for about 2 o'clock in the morning. Go well, mate. Well done. Great result. 3 wins for you so far this week from 3 attempts. Let's see if you can triple up. So you've gone a single win, a double win. Let's see if you can triple up tomorrow night at some point. Go well.
Thanks, Zach.
No pressure at all, but it'd be a rare, achieved feat if you can pull that off, especially in Formula V at Summit Point, where last year we had, I think, 1,000th of a second and 2,000th of a second is the winning margins. There they are, Braden Sagasa, Lockie Purvis and Ben Snell. We're going on break. The platform for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Quick turnaround because the supercars are on the grid here very, very shortly. For the latest round of their series, it's the first two-race sprint night of the term for them, remembering they had a triple treat a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. Great from here, great to have your company wherever you're tuning in around Australia or indeed the world. And the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, live exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube. We're here with thanks to the great people across the top and bottom of your screen. Disruptive Labs, Race Options, Trophi.AI, Merch.GSRC.inc and Flash Graphics. Braden Sagasa carved up in the Toyota 86s with thanks to Merch.GSRC.com. Of course, of the Wednesday night motorsport offering from us at least, Supercars, and they're up next. from the great Greg Heaney that there is no race control tonight. So if you've got incidents, you're going to have to call them in and have them adjudicated on after the fact. So hence why we said earlier, as we welcome you back to Shoreline Drive in California, Long Beach, in Los Angeles, lovely part of the world. This our Wednesday night doubleheader continuing for you across Facebook and YouTube. So again, to reiterate what we were saying earlier about the Toyotas, everything remains provisional until our steward team have gone and reviewed the tape. Zach Cave and Adam Lavis and a special guest here alongside me to bring you the second part of tonight's doubleheader. 3:15 in the afternoon local server time. This is Heat 1 of the Supercars. 21 kilometre an hour winds. 37% humidity, partly cloudy conditions, 24 degrees the ambient, 41 on track. Those 20 kilometre an hour winds are southerly, and it is so far dry along Shoreline Drive. There's your leaderboard at the moment. The field is capped at 27. I'll tell you why in a moment. James Scott, Sam Blacklock, Sam Cullen, Luke Page, Adam Hayne, top 5 in the elite split. In the dev split, Andy Barber with a good slender advantage over Ryan Barber at the moment. Then back to Greg Heaney, Ross Amor and Jake Cowman. Front row, Adam Lavis, of course, the DNR tonight as he was last week. Front row, Blake Fitz, Andy Barber. So elite and Dev on the front row. How about that? Adam, I don't think he'll be Dev for much longer. Adam Hayne.
There's been lots of conversation about Andy Barber getting moved up soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, that won't be far off at all. Adam Hayne, Alex Tziga, second row. Jace Douglas, Dylan Walker, third row. Craig Bond, Luke Page, fourth row. Noah Kitcher, new name. And Nathan Michael, row 5. Row 6 is Ross Amor and also Dane Snedden. 7, Ryan Barber, Luke King. 8, Martin Lipsky, Daniel Snedden. 9, Jackson Sufong and Greg Heaney. 10, Dave Oliver and Jaden Draper. Lights out, away we go. Race 1 and 2 for the night on the streets of Long Beach. Sprint racing back in full flight here for our Trophi.AI Supercar Series. Race number 5 of the championship campaign. Remember, we had 3 at Long Beach last week. 3 on the streets of Chicago, I should say, 2 weeks ago. I'm getting the street circuits mixed up. We had just the 1 race last week at VIR, and we continue our American swing to start the season here in California, then off to Dakota, St. Petersburg. Then we get away from the United States for 1 week to Brands Hatch, then Road Atlanta, Road America, and then Detroit, Belle Isle, Michigan. And then we finish on familiar territory in a town called Bathurst. And I'm sure you know the name of that circuit. Blake Fitz, good start. Adam Hayne continuing his solid run tonight. Jason Douglas up 2 spots earlier on. Andy Barber, Alex Tziga, straight on, and Noah Kitcher make up the top 7 at the moment. Have we avoided incident on the opening lap? I would say not. Luke King down 11 spots, so too Daniel Snedden. And welcome back. It was great to see him out on the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. We've been saying it all term, but welcome back to the booth. Our good mate Daniel Correa. Sir, hello.
Hello, Zach. Hello, everyone at home. Good to be back.
Now, I mentioned earlier that the field is capped here at 27. You are the 28th entry on our entry this year on our totem pole. Why have you opted out of that, please?
I do not have enough talent to drive these cars. That's why I've opted out.
Did you decide? Did you come to that assumption or realisation before or after logging into the server?
I came to that realisation last week. We were in Virginia, and I'm driving around as best as I can, thinking like, I shouldn't be here. And then we did the 86s. Okay, tonight did 3. I guess you can call them laps. Just realised, I cannot. I enjoy pinball, but it's when it's a steel ball in a machine, not when I'm the steel ball. So I figured I'd jump into the booth and just give my opinions on the other ones that can drive.
Exactly. Now, is that Terry Marsh chiming in from the comments section, 01?
I believe so. He was the Dev champion last season.
He was, so he would be 01. Yeah, that's right, because 6-1 Racing is the handle. So Terry Marsh out with the busted foot. Yeah, they're a bit hard to drive with one, these cars, when there's 3 pedals. Rest up, recover. We'll see you back next week, mate. Hopefully all is well then. Enjoy the show in the meantime. He's here supporting Cooper Cottrell in the meantime. Now, that's an important note. So AITX Revolution E-Racing depleted with numbers tonight. Whoa, Jason Douglas scrapes the wall at 1. He's chasing Adam Hayne for HTS Racing, and Blake Fitz leads this field. So the point is this, gentlemen, how bloody big would this field be if we weren't running up against the Pro Invitational tonight? Because I'm looking through the field. James Scott is obviously a gun steerer, Sam Blacklock, among others. Like, there's 2 already. Johnny Bannock, I haven't mentioned his name. He would normally be here, but he's not either. I don't think he's tied up with the either, unless he's doing some spotting. There are so many names that could be out there, that should be out there if we weren't clashing, and sometimes they're just unavoidable clashes, ladies and gentlemen. We have had the discussion in the past about moving the supercars away from the night where it goes up against a series as big and as prominent as that, and quite rightly the onus is on those that are committed to that series to dedicate their efforts there and come back and race here in the weeks in between. We've had that discussion before. Adam might have too much talent, yeah, exactly, but how big would the field be if we weren't running 2 simultaneous supercar servers tonight, one for the ASRG and one for the GSRC? That being said, 27 around here, that's going to be enough bedlam, especially in the early part of race 2 when we've got an invert top 10 to contend with, Dan.
Yeah, it's a track like this. Just this combo, this is one of those combos where, again, I'm really glad to be watching it on this side, because just the size of these cars versus the size of the circuit, knowing full well they don't have traction control, don't have ABS, right? I would imagine a lot of these guys would be running the throttle mapping much lower, just because they light up so quickly. You've only got 2 opportunities to actually put the thing full tilt, which is on this straight right now and on the main straight, which isn't really a straight, it's got a kink in it. And if you don't use the brakes on that or let up, you will go into the outside wall. So, yeah, 27 is a lot.
And Noah Kitcher and Craig Bond, there's not much real estate to work with, but I tell you what, they were leaving it very close for comfort there, rubbing panels, rubbing doors down towards turn 9. Bondi pulls out in front, goes to 6. Noah Kitcher in 7th at the moment. We remind you that anyone with a black plate and an orange number, and Noah is one of those, is someone that's yet to be allocated to a split here in the Supercar Series. Terry, I'm not sure whether you're talking about Adam, Dan or me on that one, although that being said, no one's ever said that I'm hard to hear before for some reason. I don't know why. I'm a very quietly spoken person until someone hands me a microphone. Fitz, Hayne, Barber, Douglas to gets the top 5 at this point. Noah Kitcher holds off. Dylan Walker for 8th. There's another name. It's good to see him back, but obviously tied now to the Momentum stable. Dane Snadden out there for Whiskey Business. So Terry's obviously already highlighted the absence of the half of or 2/3 of the AITX Revolution E-Racing stable. But what about the guys further back? Let's be perfectly honest. Orbit Drop Air Motorsport, Logitech Orbit Drop Air Motorsport, they're not represented at all tonight. So there's only 3 or 4 that you could rule out. Yes, work, Pro Series, other commitments, etc. Injury, illness, life getting in the way. We know what it's all about. But yes, just how big would this field be? We'd be well and truly in the 30s, which is great return for Wednesday night motorsport. We saw that in the 86s. On that subject, Dan, how was it out there in the 86s, mate?
Actually, I had quite a decent 2 races. The first one I was very lucky. If I remember correctly, it was Purvis that went into the first corner. And unfortunately went a little bit too deep. He ended up running into the outside. He ended up breaking that. I think it was the front right. I ended up avoiding that merely, and then because of all that, it pulled everyone else back. So I actually had a decent finish there, went 0x. Quite happy with that. And then in the second one, whoever had the idea to put a reverse grid is, think about that, because that was terrifying. Put me on 3rd. You've got all the fast guys in the back. You probably watched it on the broadcast, but Adam, the only thing I could do is a fast club and I'm not in it. So I'm in third, and I'm like, the only thing I can do is try to defend for my life. And so that's what I did. And eventually Adam Hayne gave me a tap on the back, which, to be fair, that's all right, because he was going to pass me anyway. And then I ended up losing 4 positions.
Terry reckons you're the one that's quiet at the moment, but I can hear you loud and clear. So hopefully that's something that Adam can work on at his end. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Now, there's Jeff Adams in 13th, running the Red Bull Ampol Racing livery. Oh, trouble. They got away with it somehow. Oh, well, no, they didn't. So, Ross Amor and Dave Oliver have come together, and Oliver is stranded, pointing backwards on the main straight. Good flick spin to get it out of there and out of harm's way. Oh, dear. Actually, that's a good point by Richo. Normally Woodsy's here on a Thursday night. I don't think we've seen Woodsy too often in the Supercar, have we?
Nah, Woodsy's not a Supercar person.
No, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check though, because again, I've only come back to Wednesday Night Motorsport.
It's Dale Sharp's normally the one that's in here.
Yeah, yes, correct. So that's a good point. No Sharpie. Dennis stepping up with what happened to him. Had also compromised Luke King on the opening lap, both down minus 11. Stetton has recovered to 20th. King still boxed in down there in 25th position. And Luke Page. This was what happened to him. That never really does. That's a good move, and all the trouble actually happened behind him. I thought he was in a bit of trouble there. But this was Ross Amor.
Oh, what is
Amor
that?
got poleaxed. Oh, no.
That's a choice.
Now, who was it that poleaxed him?
I'll check in a second.
Asked for the date and didn't wait for the consent. Oh, my goodness. Ross Amor got away from that, and then he ran into trouble with Dave Oliver. Race Control's going to have fun reviewing the tape of this one tomorrow. Oh, Richard King. Light scrape of the wall. There's a bloke that can't take a trick tonight, because he's also run into trouble in the 86 series. And of course, let's be perfectly honest. You have got invested interest here, haven't you, Dan? Because you got your 2 subpar racing teammates out there in the thick of it.
Yeah, and they're actually not too bad in these cars. Richard obviously had a bit of a moment there. He's still getting to grips with this. He's the one that convinced me to race these last week, which is, again, a terrible idea. I wish I had the talent to do this. But the thing is, they produce such good racing to watch because of that. So when you're seeing these guys who can turn a lap and angle, right? And you saw early on where I can't remember the 2 drivers, but they were racing nice and fair, rubbing doors, bumping, that's all right, but racing fair now. And that's what it's all about. And I think we're about to see another one. He's going to shoot to the inside. I'm not sure who that is. Car number...
Tzidikis on the inside of Barber to 1.
Oh, stop it, though. Stop it.
Barber. I think he got away with
look at it. Yeah,
very nicely done. But it checks up Thorne, who then gets squeezed, and Kitcher goes through. Kitcher and Thorne still side by side, and in behind them, Dylan Walker now wants a piece of it as well. Felt for Bondi there because he didn't get checked up by what was going on in front, and that just gave Kitcher enough wriggle room to wrestle up on the inside to wedge him out of the road. So well done by Noah Kitcher, holding his own at the moment, and Walker back there in 8th. Page, Snadden, Lipsky, and also Jackson Safong make up the top 12. We still have, by the way, we had 27 start, and we've still got 27 running, boys. Need a reminder, this is a street circuit. This is rare.
Whoa! He's kept it out of the wall there. Well
Bonnie won't like that hip and shoulder either, so he'll give his own duck here. There it is.
Watch it.
Back onto the main straight. Poor old Bondi's lost 2 spots in that lap, but I'll tell you what, we keep Dylan Walker at bay for that long. We're doing all right. Down to the main straight we go. Lap 10. Lap 10. We're doing enough here lap-wise, I think, to squeeze in a 12th lap. Again, if it was 16, you'd say 12 comfortably. But it's only 15 minutes cap time certain this race, so it just depends on the carryover time and how much time we lost on the opening lap from a standing start as to whether or not we're going to squeeze that extra lap in. we'll know for certain next time by the line, Blake Fitz is half a lap from home. So if he can get back to the line before... Oh, no, there goes Jackson Sufong.
And that's
If he can get back...
That's our copper from the hairpin incident we saw earlier as well. So Carmen's come and found him in turn 1.
I actually think that the white flag's going to fly this time by, boys. It's only going to get to 11. Yeah, there's Alex Jazikas now. There's our race leader, Blake Fitz. Yeah, white flag flies this time by, so we're only going to go 11 laps in race 1, which again sets us up nicely to try and crunch the numbers correctly for race 2. White flag flies at Long Beach. Terry, I'll get that information for you, mate. At the end of the race, we'll go back and have a look at those results for you, because we actually were pressed for time, so we didn't get a good enough look at that either. Draper's got a mechanical black flag. Hopefully he can push on with it. Mitch Wood's on pit road at the moment and out in 10.73. Blake Fitz has been prominent and dominant at the front of the field here. The battle's further back. Continue to rage. Uh-oh. Hi, Greg Heaney. Bye, Greg Heaney. Straight into the wall.
And the front suspension not happening.
No. As soon as you put him on the replay, I knew we were in for some sort of incident, unfortunately for Greg.
I think it's got worse.
Out there in the thick of it. Yeah, and he's had to actually pull in. He's had to pull in.
Oh, it's separate. Okay, I was worried there. It's like it is for Greg and Luke at the same time.
King. Oh. And there's...
Well, Draper's actually right. We've got to go back. Yeah, we've got to go back for that. So something's happened. It's...
One in the back's done it again.
That's Clint King. So I think something's happened in front of Draper and King that's caused that. But here we go. We've got Fitzy taking the flag here.
As a privateer, how long will that be the case for? Blake Fitz joins the winners list in the Trophi.AI Supercar Series on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Race 5 of 17 in the campaign. This is very nicely done. Side-by-side photo. Finish! Oh. And a 2 of them. Douglas held off Jazikas, his teammate. Walker held off Bond. 100th of a second for the pair of them. And this was what happened.
Okay, so he's already in the fence. Yeah, he's already in the fence, and Luke sort of saw him there and got caught up in it. Okay, so it's nothing too bad, but something's happened to Joy. He's gone to the fence somewhere.
Oh boy. An interesting race, that one. Again, I agree with Dan. It's safer here in the commentary box. So Blake Fitz, 8th, 4th, 12th and 3rd. His second podium finish of the season. His first win. And again, I mean, we could argue that, and we had this discussion many times throughout the course of last term, stack up where you would normally be on a night where all the heavyweights are in town when you've got a full grid, etc. But take nothing away from Fitzy, because to win around here, you earn your stripes. He went from pole to the checkered flag, did so by 3.18 seconds.
Bad exit for Douglas.
And that's what set it up for Jazikas to have a run, but he missed out by 100th of a second. Have a look at that. Wow. And if you keep that shot there, Adam, and go back to Walker and Bond, it'll be eerily similar. Walker and Bond, same margin. Let's have a look. Bang. Nothing in that. There was nothing in that.
Bloody hell.
Holy moly. Excellent racing. 2-minute warm-up here, which gives us an opportunity to go back for Terry Marsh's sake and have a look at those qualifying times as well. But before that, results from... No? Quality results. Blake Fitz, 121.407. Marshy, 121.407. Take a screenshot of that for me, and then you can go back and have a look at that for your own research and preparation purposes. There are the results from race 1 now for you, ladies and gentlemen. Magnificent from Blake Fitz, 3.16. As I said, I mean, we had this discussion all through last term. It got me in a bit of trouble because there were a couple of people in the comment section that weren't terribly happy with everything I was saying. But really, credit where it's due to Blake Fitz, because at the end of the day, it's one thing to win on the night, but to do it on a street circuit, at the end of the day, you've still got to be the best on track, irrespective of how big the field is, irrespective of who's lining up. And he was in that instance, so very well done. Can we just scroll back up to the top of that, please, Adam? Very quickly. Dane Snadden gets the invert pole. Okay, let's go down. Best placed of the dev split was Andy Barber, but he won't be dev split much longer. based on all of that. And in the end, only Wood, King and Draper ending a lap down. Good racing, good hard hustle and bustle. Probably some of the better and surprisingly cleaner supercar racing was seen in recent times on, well, not just the GSRC platforms, but particularly on a street circuit. But the good thing, I guess, Dan, like you with whatever you're jumping behind the wheel for, you guys are getting more and more opportunities to go street circuit racing and work on that discipline, because it's very different to traditional circuit racing with no margin for error. The more street racing we do, the better we seem to be getting.
100%. Street racing is some people are a bit on the fence about it, which I understand, because it, on one hand, as you said, it sharpens your skills as a driver, because not only do you now have to fight between the other drivers, but you've got to fight the circuit. You don't have runoffs, you don't have things like that, so it's completely different. But on the other hand, it does tend to increase the risk of massive crashes. For example, if we're taking Long Beach, you've got turn 1, because off the start everybody's going, cold tyres, so on and so forth. But you're right, as more exposure, the drivers get better and better, and then you get awesome moments like we saw in the finish of this for second and third, or in some of the battles that they were going through the mid-pack. So yeah, all good in terms of doing that. I hope that the rumours I hear about Baku possibly being added to the server, because I reckon that would be amazing.
That is mega. That is one of the great street tracks anywhere in the world. I don't care what anybody says. We'll come back to that later, because there's a lot to say with regards to street racing, because it can be very, very damaging on the old annual budget. But from a spectacle standpoint, if you're a spectator watching on, you absolutely love it. Ready to fire, Heat 2, Round 3, Trophi.AI Supercar Series, platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Great to have you with us this Wednesday night. It's always give us a front row. Clean up the start. Oh, no trouble. AITX gone. That's Cooper Cotterill.
Oh.
Massive, massive shunt and damage on the opening lap. And unfortunately, we don't have race control tonight, so that would normally be a safety car, boards and flags sort of scenario. It won't be in this instance, and there are already 3 cars on the tow road. Greg Heaney, Jake Calvin and JD Dent. Martin Lipsky makes it 4, and already quite a lot of good clean start. Luke Page got the better of his teammate Dane Snadden. Needs to go while he's got the clear air here, Page, because Dylan Walker's given good chase. Bondi's there. He's got the better of Kitcher off the start. Fitz and Douglas in behind. Fitz up 4 spots already. Douglas under pressure from Hayne. Now we do go safety car boards and flags. Now either Greg Heaney's done that from the comfort of pit lane, well, he's having his fast repair attended to, or Adam Lavis has done that from his end.
Wasn't me, someone else has done that.
I copy that, okay. So somebody else has jumped in and tried the safety car boards and flags. Interesting.
I mean, of all the incidents, that's the one to call it. Obviously, someone's had a bad start somewhere, or is it just a case of 4 into 1? No worries. And look at that.
Stacks on. Boys, you can get away with that in Formula V, but not here. Formula V, you can get away with that absolutely 4 wide, but not in the supercars, I wouldn't have thought. Now, 1:32.718, the standing time for Dane Snadden. 2 things to take into consideration here, boys, right? And Adam Lavis, I'm looking at you when I'm thinking of this. I like Jaden Draper's idea here. He's gone straight to pit lane.
I'm not going to like his idea here. Well, no, he did back off.
I'm not going to like this either. He tried to back off, but unfortunately he was coming straight for a roadblock.
Yeah, he did back off. I thought for the way that first replay, it looked like he came in full guns blazing, but wouldn't really pull up in time.
Interesting there too.
Yes, Dan?
Cottrell's car, I could have seen that wrong, but Cottrell's car went ghost almost. There were multiple cars that drove through him.
Yeah, I think it's sort of got to a point where it's got out of sync. Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Look
at that. 1,
3.
2.
Look at that. They're just driving through him. Where's that tech?
If that's Richard or Jeff, they've got away lucky there, because they've got through there without any damage.
Yeah.
I want that tech. I'll drive supercars if I can have that.
But if that's real world, though, right, let's be perfectly honest, that's a much nastier incident. That is a much nastier incident. Nights over early for Martin Lipsky. All good, on to the next round, he says.
Richard's finally got some luck.
Yeah. True. He needed some tonight. He's up 3 spots. Mitch Wood's up 10. He's the big beneficiary out of all of that. Now, let's highlight a couple of things here, boys. We're on lap 2. We're still got safety car boards and flags. The lights are on the safety car, so we're guaranteed another lap. If you're one of the race leaders and you're thinking now's the time to pull the trigger because we're going around much slower, we could really well and truly be in the window here to fulfill the obligation, tick the box, complete the compulsory splash and dash, and then press on and go all guns blazing out to the checkered flag.
I reckon if your fuel numbers say you can make it, or I've basically almost made it before, because it's going to be at least 20 minutes, it's going to be at least another 2-3 minutes before you get around again, so it's only going to be a maximum of 20 minutes of this race, so if you can make that on fuel, I think this is going to be a very busy pit lane if they're all got their smarts up about them.
It'll be follow the leader for sure. You watch. Whoever goes in, so Fitz is going in.
Yep, so too did Luke Page. Bondi, Kitcher, Douglas, Hayne all staying out, but I like the idea of these guys.
I'm surprised there's not more people coming in. Like, if this tells me maybe it is a bit more marginal fuel than we think.
Depends how. Oh well, actually, towards the back of the field. Look at this: Mitch Woods in, Jeff Adams, Dave Oliver, Richard King. They're all in.
If the back, they've got damage and stuff in that incident as well. So.
Terry, we don't normally like to, but when the track is that well and truly wrecked, and there's debris scattered all over it, we kind of have to.
Yeah, the safety car is on regular safety. If there's if the track is to a point where the crash is big enough that it deems a safety car and race control can see it, then there will be one. But yeah, generally, it doesn't happen that often. Given that we don't run the request a tow rule that some other series do. Then it seems to clear up a lot faster before we get a chance to call the safety car a lot of the times. But there are some times where it does come in handy. But obviously there's also some tracks where you don't want it. You definitely don't want to do a safety car at Suzuka because that takes 10 years.
We found out that very bit of small important deeds. Excuse me, I've just had a dose of the hiccups on set, so it's going to be an interesting last 20 minutes for me. We had the arduous task, Adam Lavis, of finding out about Suzuka's safety car procedure the very hard way, the very first time we ever went Porsche racing on these platforms. It was a Wednesday night as well. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
The other issue here is whoever's running the safety car hasn't got the button set to advance the safety car because it's still got yellow lights.
So we're going to go around again.
Which is going to be, that's going to help those guys out even more who have already stopped because now they're back on the queue. So anyone who bits now is going to be behind them.
Exactly. And that's the point I was going to make, Dan. Advantage these guys, Luke Page, Blake Fitz, etc. But for mine, the quid pro quo here, right, is they're in traffic at the moment. Obviously, they won't be if everybody else has their wits about them and goes to pit lane this time through. But more than that, if you're in traffic, you've got to keep your wits about you because so much more potential for drama and running into trouble, running into incident, running into error. And see, there's the mistake right now. Snadden, Walker, Bond has stayed out. Douglas has stayed out. Suzuka has stayed out. So are they gambling on another safety car, which I doubt, or have they just not done their numbers right?
Oh, Kitcher's got a black flag for speeding in the pit lane.
Well, that takes him out of contention.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, not just him. Hold on.
Barber?
Michael?
Barber's got one as well.
Yep.
Oh, it's iRacing's done things. Apparently they're saying they've been done for a closed pit lane. It's an iRacing annoyance.
Okay.
Okay. And the lights are off now, so that's why. That's unfortunate.
They can go to pit lane until the pit lane is closed, and the pit lane obviously closed smack bang and there they are, 5 of them.
I've been done with that before myself. Because I got done at Spa once, where it was the opposite way around as in the IndyCar race. They called the yellow flag as I went into Spa's pit lane, and it's like that's obviously that narrow run and there's nowhere to go. So I had to go into the lane, and I got a penalty for entering close pit because the safety car was gone. It's just like, well, this is annoying.
Yep. It happens to the best of them.
Unfortunately.
So if I'm saying that right, I imagine those have just been cleared by racing.
Oh, yeah, someone's cleared them.
But the interesting thing is they've all spent 45, 46, 51 seconds on pit lanes.
No.
All served them.
They've served it. Yes, it would have been a stop and hold in the lane. So they've served them, but they've served in the lane. But technically, it's probably they would have come out roughly with the safety car situation, roughly where they were anyway because of the queue situation. So they're going to catch up. They'll be at the end of the queue. So it's an annoyance, but it's basically fixed itself, luckily.
Yeah, okay.
Will they be able to catch the queue, though, at the train before the field takes off?
They're already catching the queue now.
Will have control of the field.
They're in one corner away.
Dane Snadden has control of this field as the safety car pulls away and heads back towards pit lane. So it'll be Snadden, Walker, Bond, Douglas, Tzidakis, Amor, and then Snedden. Then Watson, Hayden Watson, Jackson Sifong and Cooper Cottrell. How he escaped damages beyond me. And Luke King in 11th. Everybody else has stopped. Two distinct different strategies at play here. But I think that the guys that stop now during that safety car are in a far better position as far as this race is concerned. Often racing again on the streets of Long Beach. The end lap 4, we start lap 5. Dane Snadden leads us down to turn 1. Walker and Bond's right there down the outside, but he'll tuck back in. Snadden in the wall! Oh no, here's the check up! Snadden in the wall! Bondy got into the back of Dylan Walker, who goes to the front of the field. Chase Douglas comes through out of the crowd to go straight through the second spot, and Bondy's got damage. Snadden is on the tow rope. Well, safety cars breed safety cars, but we'd need a lot more to go wrong to see it deployed for a second time here. And at this point in time, very hard to crunch the numbers where we're going to be at from a time standpoint, but you're probably looking at only about 16 laps in this race now, somewhere around that marker. Because we only got 11 in race 1. That was 15 minutes. We got back to the line just before the 10-minute marker. So possibly 16. Douglas to the inside. Zikas gets by Bond. Could the JMR boys go 1-2 here in this second race? Walker's going to be tough to stop though. But again, everyone behind them, best placed at the back. There is Luke Page. Now Blake Fitz down on the inside, and he relegates Luke King. Page is just ahead. Bondi going to pit lane to get rid of damage with the fast head. Zikas goes fast front of the race. Kingy's got damage. Dane Snadden's on the tow rope. Cowman, Heaney continue on. Lipsky's parked up and done for the night. Oh wow. Shy Racing could come up with a minimum fuel drop they do for the race start, but not pit stops. Well, yeah, again, one of those teething little 1%ers that we'd love for iRacing to work on, but they're so busy doing all the other big 5 and 10% stuff rather than the 1%. This is what happened to Eddie Barber.
They've just gone below the limit.
Oh, I see. Yep. Which does happen, yeah. Yeah, that's triggered. It's happening in the 86s as well. Getting incident calls and it just turns it. Yep.
Okay. Top 6 still yet to stop. That was Snadden. Yep, car broken. Goodbye. And Snadden did his best to try and pull up and get out of the road so that everybody had an uncompromised run into the water fountain area. This was the view from Dylan Walker. Watch this for close for comfort.
Oh, he just nudged him. Yeah, well, lucky.
Just nudged him, but I reckon it was the push from behind. I reckon Bondi got him from behind, and that's how that's all happened. Here comes Hayden Watson to pit lane. Douglas, Tzidakis, Snedden and Watson, they've all woken up to it, and they're like, we're on the wrong strap here, boys. In comes Luke Page, who could lead this in a canter very shortly as the race leader, but he's under pressure immediately from Blake Fitz, and Fitz will be delighted to get a double tonight. Was that Jackson Sufong just scraping the ball a little bit there?
Yes.
Douglas, Tzidakis, Snedden and Watson all back out onto the racetrack now. Such drama here on the streets of Long Beach. Keenan Cowman spent a good bit of time on pit lane. Dane Snadden's parked up and done. And Heaney and Cowman remain a lap down. Whoa, trouble. So that was the second of the night when he was getting caught up in that. That was Jason Draper. Not his first incident tonight. And this was what happened to Greg Heaney again.
Oh, he's left him through, he's left him.
So I think, just looking at the grid and the amount of cars that have pit, I think Fitz has played everyone now.
Yeah.
Because that additional lap would have brought the fuel average down enough where I think he's all right on fuel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I agree.
And they wouldn't have bothered changing tyres either, so they've saved that. Yeah. Yeah, I think Fitz has got this in the back, because he's overtaken Luke Page now, so it's, those three have done the pit. Walker and Safong have to do so. So yeah, unless something major goes wrong, which no, he keeps it out of the horse, so well done. So you know what? Maybe I'll just give him a shot.
Well, that's the point, right? Fitz has no need to get involved in this with Sufong, because Sufong's still got to stop, and Walker still has to stop. Walker's 8 seconds up the road, so that's obviously holding everybody up. Sufong's a moving roadblock at the moment, and as Dennis Lilly always so aptly put it when he was playing the great game of cricket, it's always hard to hit a moving target. It's Sufong! He managed to clean up! Oh, Sufong! Like a pinata, bounces into one concrete wall, back into the other, and Fitz will have a case to answer.
Yeah, I think that was a bit rough there.
That's super unfortunate. I'd be curious to see in a replay whether or not it was Fitz going into the back of Sufong or Sufong drifting over, which caught the two cars and initiated the spin. Because as you said, Zach, Fitz had no reason to be so aggressive, but then again, try telling a race driver not to race. That's going to go well. So here he goes. Now I'm very curious if Sufong...
of course.
You would put a building there, California.
Can we take it from the onboard of Fitz, please, and just have a look? Sufong to pit lane, understandably. Bondi and all of that ends up down in 17th because, obviously, he, among many others, opted not to stop under the safety car, which I think will be the defining point of the race.
Let's try and keep it on. Yeah.
There is a little bit of movement, yeah.
And I feel like that is an unfortunate case of Jackson coming across, maybe Fitz correcting. I just don't see the reason for Fitz to be that aggressive. Like, I can't imagine he was trying to do anything. I think he's just trying to make the overtake, and I think Sufong's cars come across, and unfortunately iRacing does iRacing.
There we go.
The two have come together. Yes, I think they're converging on each other.
And conversely, in the same breath that we were talking about, Fitz not needing to engage in battle with Sufong, same goes the other way, right? Sufong was not in that race. But again, trying to keep the leaders at bay, they'll move heaven and earth in order to try and do that, and that is the result. And Sufong, unfortunately, has managed to get back out there, but is well down the order now, last of the leaders, last of the running cars on the lead lap, I should say, as we go back to pick up Luke Page now. Dylan Walker leads by 9 seconds. Page is 2.5 behind Fitz. Under pressure from Mitch Wood. Cooper Cottrell just jumps at the toe rope, and so does Nathan Michael. What's happened here, please? Uh-oh, trouble. Dave Oliver.
Do they drift in sympathy? Oh, he's caught it.
Well done, Dave Oliver, but who's being compromised as a result? Uh-oh.
All things considered.
That's not bad. Nathan, hang on. Oh, wow. Our second straight line record. Nice! 3 cars involved. And again, there's your second safety car if this was a real world situation, although I would argue that the Reds probably would have been thrown on this race by this point. Have a look at this. Andy Barber.
I got the wrong Barber.
Yeah, now the
Yes, Ryan.
part is, right, in this goes back to what I was saying much earlier on in the piece, which is and he can't. Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying earlier in the piece, which is these cars. This is one of two spots on the track that you can give it the beans. And the problem is, when you do that, your steering wheel is a decoration. Like, you can't, it just goes whichever way the G-forces are pulling, which means if you're on the inside and you're not aware of that, you are just drifting left. That's just going to happen. So unfortunately, he was, whoever it was that was on the inside was getting boxed in there a little bit. The car drifts out wide, they come together, and that's what you do.
So Ryan Barber understandably has a mechanical meatball flag next to his name. Nathan Michael the same. Michael on the tow road, Henry back on pit road. Luke King now on pit lane as well. Douglas almost getting caught up in an incident there. Bondi's giving him good chase at the moment. There's Noah Kitcher having a great run. Is Noah, despite picking up a black flag for pitting out of a closed safety car situation, closed pit lane situation during that caution period. But he's up there ahead of Jeff Adams at the moment. They're all probably going to leap on Dylan Walker when he comes to pit lane. And there's only 6 minutes left in the race. So there's at most 5 laps left as Walker crosses the line.
It's a big fight back from Gitchy here to get effectively 4th place. But also Mitch Wood here leading the Dev and possibly on an outrun podium here with the madness of this race.
Unbelievable. And Jace Douglas, the fastest club, the race 1:21.504. Can I just highlight to everybody at home as well that the vocal cords have got a bit more of a workout on a Wednesday night tonight than what they did 2 weeks ago. And we've still got Formula B to get to. Could be a rough old Friday for the old vocal cords. You know what I'm talking about, Dan. You've been here on a Thursday night with the V's and Porsche Carrera Cup before. So, Dave Oliver, there he is. Fresh from the drift flick spin. Sitting 11th at the moment, chasing 10th. I'm off 10th outright in Andy Harper. So, actually, look at how costly that was, too. So, Andy's another one recovering from that 46-second stop during the safety car period. He's doing a huge job right now.
Same with Adam Hayne as well.
Yeah, Adam Hayne. So, there's stories up and down this entire field, but one thing remains the same, and that is that it ended up being the right call to go and pit under the caution. At the end of lap 12, Dylan Walker takes us to the start of lap 13. 4.5 minutes to go, 4 laps to go. Round they come. Jeff Adams chasing Noah Kitcher at the moment.
I think Jeff needs more steering lock.
So, well, we've got our value for money here, boys. There's no doubt about that. Great to see the Supercar series being well supported. But this is always the case, right? We say this in weeks 1, 2 and 3. The numbers are there, the support's there, yada, yada, yada. And then hopefully we're still saying that in week 10. And with the calendar we've got, there's no reason why we shouldn't. But again, it gets very hard to, convince people to come and go racing on a weekly basis when they're only playing for the scraps, the minor placings. So it'll be interesting to see what that's all about. Jeff Adams is being passed there by Adam Hayne. And Adams tucks back in to position number 7. Back we go now to pick up Jason Douglas and trying to get behind Dave Oliver. He's in there as well. Oliver's side by side. The elbows are out. Douglas goes by to 11th. Oliver back to 12th. And through comes Bondi in 13th. So a good little scrap there for positions 11, 12 and 13. Still no Dylan Walker to pit lane. He's going to do exactly what they did in the Toyotas, boys, and stretch this every inch of the way and leave as late as possible. That's right, he should.
Just a nice little gap here between cars on the screen. That's Oliver and Bond fighting behind. Doing really well so far coming into it. It's really interesting how, because with a car like this, coming out of the hairpin becomes really sketchy. The more your tyres wear, then you've got less grip. You're in first gear. I think you're in first gear. Maybe some of them are probably doing it in second, I'm not sure. But unless your car's pointing dead straight, you don't dare plant the throttle for fear of facing the other way. So it's been really good to watch some of these guys make their way through that nice and cleanly, especially when you've got moments where they go side by side. That's just mental to me. But if you can make it work, I'm all for it.
I'm not sure race control is going to view it too favourably that we've had so many wrecks in a straight line tonight. A real NASCAR-esque kind of vibe about that. Jason Douglas now goes up alongside Andy Barber and goes through. Ryan Barber, incidentally, fastest driver of the race, getting on 21.407. Fresh off that fast repair that was necessitated by that incident earlier in the piece. In comes Dylan Walker now. 2 laps to go at the line. Blake Fitz coming onto the main straight now.
Watch Craig here.
Yep, watch Bondi.
Because
Down the
Dave
inside.
got loose. Oh, actually, that's cleaner than I thought it would be. I thought it would be
He's wide.
a little bit more.
Oh, he's at the rear.
Do it.
That Dave Oliver, the rear, let's go. He caught it. He saves it from smashing into the concrete. But Bondi gets through unscathed into 11th outright.
Well, that tells me about Dave's setup. He's got a lot of rear brake bars to get some turn in the car, but the problem is when he gets hard in the brakes, it's going to lock the rears.
Yeah.
It's like old King here.
Bang. Side on impact. The other thing as well that I was going to say in all of that too, boys, here's Noah Kitcher. What a run from him. Dylan Walker has come back down in position number 7. And it was only a 3.67 second stop. That's how costly it is to make a green flag stop when half the field has been able to pit under the safety car and the other half will be sitting there thinking, well, hang on, we should have done what they did. Ifs, buts and maybes. We had time again, but unfortunately time waits for nobody. So Blake Fitz will see the white flag this time by, and he's on track to do the double. Again, there is a little asterisk next to it once they have a look at that incident that he had.
Who would have thought with 2 reverse grid races we've got 2 doubles for tonight?
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Especially on a street circuit.
Especially the chaos of this race as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Sufong is obviously, that incident with Sufong and Fitz will be looked at after the fact, but the way that it's been viewed here in Central Commentary, we think that Fitzy will get away with that one relatively scot. Poor Bondi's caught up in that. The JMR stable entry gets through.
Tzikis.
That's Tzikis, up in the 9th spot. And that's Jaden Draper pointing backwards. Poor old Bondi, nowhere to go there. He's been in the walls tonight. Now he's back on Dave Oliver's car. Mitch Wood comes to pit lane and out again, so that's a second stop for Wood. And that'll allow Oliver go to 10th to 11th. Noah Kitcher, a great run up in 3rd outright.
Oh, wow.
Now has to fend off Adam Payne on the final half a lap.
Why is Mitch pitted again? Oh no, that was the class winning podium. Mitch.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Did he not have enough fuel? What has gone on there? One thing's for certain, folks. I can't remember the other point I was going to make. There's too much going on at the moment. But this guy at the front has out and out dominated tonight. Get your hands out and smash them together, ladies and gentlemen. Blake Fitz is on track for a double. And sweeps the ride on the streets of Long Beach.
Watch this hairpin, because I'm pretty sure Hayne was right there.
He was.
Too much wheel speed.
He's slipping the rear. He's got too much in the rear. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, actually, no, he's showboating.
How about that? Brilliant stuff. Well done. Excellent racing. Now have a look at this. Oliver and Bond still. Oh no, hang on. There's been an incident. There has been an incident because that is not Craig Bond. That is Dave Oliver and Daniel Snedden. So Bondi's gone through in a 10th. Snedden on the comeback trail goes right around the outside of Oliver. and Oliver's rear end is just toast. It's absolutely gone. And those tyres are begging for mercy. And finally, they'll get their wish. Oliver across the line with a shattered rear end. Have a look at this. He's got
him up.
Yeah.
All on his own.
Let's get it over. 8 out of 10 for Ruette.
Yeah.
Well, he's done more donuts. He's done more donuts than laps this race.
Yeah, exactly. I'm starting to feel like Homer Simpson should be in attendance here just to take advantage of the amount of donuts around the place. Unbelievable drama. What a night that was. And Noah Kitcher, that's a standout performance for mine. From a pit lane penalty to 3rd. Adam Hayne to 4th. Jeff Adams, Dylan Walker, again, unlucky. Caught out by the pit stops. it's a huge advantage when you can do it under caution. Everybody had the opportunity to do so. Dylan Walker, Jace Douglas, then Alex Tzikis, Andy Barber, and Craig Bond. Having a look at that, Jeff Adams wins the dev split, but that's provisional, of course, because we've got two guys there that are yet to be allocated a split. Fitz wins the pro split, or the elite split, ahead of Page, Hayne, Walker, Douglas, and Tzikis. And I dare say, did we say it was Andy Barber that was going to be making his way up in the pro at some point?
Yes.
Probably happening tonight.
But also, like, this also makes me even more confused with Mitch. So Blake, who did the correct pit stop on the first safety car opportunity, has not only had enough fuel to do a full cooldown lap, but then also do donuts. So I don't know where Mitch has picked up a fuel leak.
No. I'm not sure either. Martin Lipsky retirement, Dane Snadden, Greg Heaney retirements, Cooper Cottrell also a retirement and all of that. He won't be classified. Everybody else does get classified. That's the 23 of them that will be classified because they managed to complete more than 75% race distance. Jake Cowman even managed to recover after 4 minutes and 18 seconds on pit road to get himself back to 23rd. Blake Fitz wins by 5.68 seconds in the end. What we have, 21 cars finish on the lead lap. We got to 16 in the end. We just got ourselves to 16 due to time constraints there. Dylan Walker did leave it as late as he possibly could to get to 16. So 11 and 16, the numbers you needed on your bingo card. Of course, that would have been a lot more had it not been for the first lap. Or 2, 3 under caution. Here's where it all went wrong. Or is this actually no? This is race 1, so this wasn't where it all went wrong at all. That was the start of race 2. Hopefully Blake Fitz will join us soon. Jeff Adams is here. Bondi's here. Jeff, to you first. Nicely done, mate. As it stands, dev split winner for race 2. But that was a chaotic sort of 25 minutes there in the feature, and I can only imagine that the sprint before it was no less chaotic. What was it like from your standpoint, please, from your viewpoint?
Yeah, definitely chaotic. It must be that Red Bull paint job that I've got on the car that's let me make my way all the way up to the dizzy heights of 5th.
It does look good. I'm not going to lie. You've done a masterful job of all of that, and decided that your teammates should run the same livery as well, I see.
Yeah, we joined up at the start because we don't have an official paint yet. Hopefully, Mr. Daniel Coruscant will get onto that very soon, and we'll have a subpar paint very, very soon.
Right, so you're telling me that instead of hanging out with us here in commentary, he could have been doing liveries for you? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, he could have been on the racetrack too, but he pulled the pin. He was like, "Nope, I'm not doing this." So yeah.
And given what played out and what we've witnessed, I don't blame him in the slightest. It's been great to have his insights here in Central Commentary, though. I'm sure you've got a question or two for your teammate now that he's thrown you under the bus voluntarily.
Yeah,
I've got no questions. No questions. He's right. I should have been making a paint, but I missed the booth too much. And forgive me for indulging.
So, of course, I'd go to Elite once again. The pro guys are away, then back to Dev getting... I think once you've got the pace to go to Dev to Elite, Andy, unless your pace drops significantly, I reckon you're staying there, mate. But well done to you. Nice recovery and all of that. Unlucky getting caught up in a couple of different incidents along the way. I think there's so many stories to try and pick apart. There's so many walking wounded in all of that. I was actually impressed that we got, in the end, 23 to the finish line. You had to get 12 to get 75% race distance. Jeff, it's interesting, isn't it? Because normally when we talk to you, we're talking about the open wheelers and your love for them, but you don't mind the tin tops either.
Yeah, well, it goes down to my timetable. This is what I can do, and I really love racing, and I love the GSRC and the spirit of it all. So, yeah, I even though I don't know if this is my fit for me, I still want to be out there on the racetrack.
We mentioned it at the start. There is an elite, a pro invitational round on tonight for the supercars, so that takes a few of our regular contenders out of the mix. But I would argue that's not necessarily been bad timing at all, because that was chaotic enough out there without adding a few extra cars into the mix.
Yeah, it's definitely, you got to take advantage of those times when the faster guys are off doing their special events. And yeah, but again, I think it was just lucky at the end of it, because it was definitely chaotic. And you know, whether you were in the inside of at the fountain or if you're on the outside, that was really what it came down to. You know, like if you were on the right side of the road at the right time. I still even had a couple of moments with a couple of cars still, and yeah, I just managed to scrape through.
I was going to say there were moving roadblocks around the place tonight. There were stranded roadblocks, and some on some occasions, in some instances, Bondi knows this all too well. We'll hear from him in a moment. We've got Noah Kitcher and Blake Fitz here as well. And great to have you guys in the house, particularly like looking forward to hearing Fitzy's take on all that, but also Noah's too, because he's a newcomer to the series. We'll get back to Jeff in just a moment. To go back to the points that were being made in the comments section, yeah, there were a couple of instances tonight where you just had to take the medicine, didn't you? If you stumbled upon a check-up situation, you kind of just had to play the patient game and think, hang on, let's let this clear up and then get back on with it. The safety car, a rarity for us, but necessary in that instance, mate, with the track blocked on lap 1. Did that help you or hinder you, do you reckon?
No, that was we pitted during that time, and I took some fresher tyres, so I took the extra time there. I only dropped back maybe 3-4 places, but still, again, with all that chaos and the safety cars, it helped us with the fuel as well. So I didn't have to take any fuel on that as well. So it was a matter of just sprinting to the end, looking after the tyres, and keeping out of trouble.
Indeed. I want to go back to, you know what I said earlier when Fitzy was crossing the line, and I couldn't think of what the last thing I wanted to say was. It was in relation to one of those comments. It was from Terry Marsh. He was talking about Missing being out there. Obviously, he's injured. So one foot's busted, the other's itchy, and Terry can't wait to get back out on the circuit next week. I would imagine that the busted foot is also slightly itchy as well, and slightly uncomfortable. But yes, he was chomping at the bit. It's hard, isn't it, Jeff? You know this all too well. When commitments or injury or illness or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, when you're watching on from the sideline, knowing full well that you'd normally be out there in the thick of it, it's so hard to sit there and not get antsy, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like I recently went on a trip, family trip and disappeared for a week or two, and even then you get the notification saying the races are on, you see the streams, and you jump in and you watch them, and you just it is a disappointing time to not be able to get back out on the race, especially I think for most of us out there. We really do this for the love of it, and I think that it's definitely a passion for most of us, and when we don't get to do our passion, it definitely gets us a bit antsy in the pantsy.
Indeed. Pretty good night, all things considered. Here's the latest graduate of the Elite Split joining us in the commentary box as well, ladies and gentlemen. He's already made his comments clear about that in the YouTube comments, but we'll hear him in person in a moment from the man himself, Andy Barber. Now, Jeff, going back to big night for the team, because the 86 is also around here. I like that commonality that we play on the same racetrack, but two completely different races.
Oh, it is a handful to go from an 86 to this car. It's definitely a big change. You go from something that's got too much grip and is slow to something with no grip and is too fast. Too much power. So you really got to dial it in, and you really got to find your feet. It's definitely a benefit for those who don't do the 86 to get their laps in get their eye in on the V8s. But but again, I enjoy the challenge, and so does my teammates. They all love it, except for Daniel maybe. But it's definitely a challenge, and we all love it.
Indeed. Right of reply coming Daniel Carrera-Sar's way in just a moment. But it's interesting, isn't it? Quick comment from you too, actually. Daniel as well here, because he was in the thick of it for the Toyota 86s. I was pleased to see, after arriving here week one and not seeing a very fruitful field. It wasn't as big, as jam-packed as what our normal 86 grids would normally be. I think we only had maybe 18, 19 cars. That may well have come down to the circuit that we're on. Obviously, numbers have improved there over the last couple of weeks. Very nice to see numbers in the very high 20s for the supercars, but also in the low 30s for the 86s, I thought.
Yeah, the 86s are a good car, you know, and I think, you know, when you like, I'm definitely not on the pace of the faster guys up the front, and I have always prided myself on being a faster driver in the 86, so it definitely got to take that pill, tough one to swallow, and maybe just crack on and get some more practice and get you know, pick up my act and get better. And you know, when you've got the teammates, we all work together to try and pick up our pace, and you know, it's always fun.
Daniel, if he's still
not wrong.
there he is.
I absolutely jumped out. I didn't want to race these. I can't. You saw better people than me tried and failed during the 2 races that we saw. You know what I mean? I didn't need to contribute to that chaos.
Oh no! No, it was, yeah, absolutely. It was chaotic enough. But as I said, if we had another 7 or 8 here, as we quite rightly could have, on any other week, on any non-V8 Pro week, that would have been absolute bedlam. More so than it already was. But you know what? We've got plenty there for the highlight reel at the end of the season. We don't even need to worry about the next 7 weeks at the moment. Hey, Jeff, from your standpoint, mate, obviously a great result. I guess you got to take your opportunities when they're presented to you and grab them with open arms and both hands. You did that. We look at the rostrum here, 2 GT3 Pro-Am championships, the Formula Ford, a Porsche Open Cup as well. Any chance we could add a Supercar Dev Split victory to that as well in the mix in 7 weeks' time?
Oh, definitely aiming for it. That'd be great. But we've got to be careful not to get too close to the faster, you know, and get too fast. So I can't put too much practice in. I don't want to get too quick. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'll take it if I can get it. But no different anyway. I'm still going to be turning up every day.
So you don't want to get into Andy Barber sort of territory, is what you're telling me?
No. I think I've got to keep me. But to be honest, I definitely don't even think I have the pace to be in the elite split at the moment. And if I was to dedicate 100% of my time to V8 and nothing else, I'd probably be able to get up there. But not with all the mix of all the different cars and everything like that. And plus, again, you've mentioned it many times. I'm more of an open wheel guy. So you know, this is definitely always a challenge for me, and I definitely open wheels definitely suit me a lot better.
But I guess at the same time, conversely, we do see 3 championships next to your name there with regards to tin tops as well, mate. It is good to, from your own personal versatility standpoint, it is good to try and expand that arsenal from time to time, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you just got to be in the thick of it. You know, you got to be in it to win it, and that's all that matters.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Anything else to add? Obviously, tomorrow night we're looking forward to seeing you on track there. But anything else to add as far as supercars are concerned? I guess I should probably ask you what you think with regards to Coda being the next stop.
Oh, it'll be interesting. Really haven't done much practice. Just like to, I just hope Daniel might change his mind and might join us on the racetrack next week. I'm sure he'll join us for the 86s, but who knows? I'd love to see him out there. It'd be good fun.
It's just good to have him back in general, no matter which side of the fence he's on. But I got my feeling that you'd be getting your money back if you place the bet on no, rather than on yes with regards to that, based on the comments we've already said.
I'm having a quick look at my schedule, and it says I've booked my hair in to get washed when the V8's on next week. So unfortunately, no, I won't be attending.
Actually, very impressive for hairdressers to be open at 8:30 on a Wednesday night, but that's beside the point. Well done, Jeff. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
No, just thanks guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to the Red Bull paint job. It's my livery for tonight. So yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good one.
Nice of Uber to expand into the 24-hour hairdressing service at home delivery, by the way. On that note, Coda West, the next stop, then St. Petersburg, Brands Hatch Road, Atlanta Road, America. So we do a fair bit of heavy lifting in the United States in this series and finish that off in Detroit. Then we go to a little place in the central west of New South Wales with a mecca of a racetrack attached to it as well. Righto, let's move around the room. Before I go any further, Adam, what time's the alarm for tomorrow morning, please?
No alarm.
You don't have one? Okay, good. Because I was going to say, if it was early, you would have told me about 3 hours ago. So that's all good. We can stretch this out a little bit, and we've got a fair bit of ground to cover. Bondi, stay with me. I know it's a school night. I'll get to you in a moment. I want to go to our elite race winner firstly. Blake Fitz, great to have you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Integral part of the furniture here. Happy to be on the racetrack, not in race control tonight, no doubt. Well done. Great double. Maybe an unexpected one, considering that it was the streets of Long Beach. It's a concrete canyon. You got to ride your luck sometimes. There were a couple of moments. We'll get your thoughts on the Jackson Sufong incident in a moment. But before all of that, race one couldn't have gone any better, mate. Talk us through that.
I don't know. Just thanks to all the boys that are in Logitech, I guess.
Let's not undersell it though, right? As I said during the call, you know, we spoke about this at length throughout last campaign, right? And it came with a few different varying comments and opinions and whatever else. But at the end of the day, mate, especially when it's a circuit where, you know, the difficulty meter is on the high side rather than the low side, as you can see there, Whiskey Business showing themselves at exit stage left. When it's a circuit of that difficulty, when the field's that stacked, for you to be able to go out there and do the double, that's no mean feat. The quality of the field, yeah, okay, the Logitech Pro guys are still here, but there was still quantity and there was still quality out there, and you stood above and rose to the challenge.
Yeah, no disrespect at all to anyone that turned up tonight. No, this is a track I gel well with. I think this car goes good here. A lot of people say it doesn't, but I don't know. This is just, yeah, any tracks with walls on it, I think maybe I go a bit better there, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good night tonight.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there are 4 street circuits and 1 pretty notorious road course on this, well, public road course on this tour. So does that bode well for you, the fact that the street circuits are running rampant this season?
I'd like to think so. I did just look at the calendar, and Coda and St. Petersburg will be new ones, so yeah, I don't know, I'm not too sure.
Time to dig into the pocket and fork out some coin for some new iRacing content, mate. Nothing bad about that. Here's the highlights from race 2, please, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a look at how hairy things got here. Mid-pack on the run down towards turn 1. As you can see, about 15 cars made it, and the rest got caught up, and the safety car was deployed. And it turned out to be to zig rather than to zag was the way to go, mate. At what point were you starting to crunch the numbers and realise that you could pit under the safety car and make it home?
Pretty much as soon as it was called, but I wasn't. You know how iRacing safety cars work, but I wasn't too sure what was going to happen when the lane was going to open, when it wasn't, and then yeah, to see, I think it was Luke coming in front of me. To only see that was pretty confusing, and yeah, when it played out in the end, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of guys will learn a few things tonight from that.
My mate Bondi's gone to get his beauty sleep, so we won't be hearing from him tonight. We'll catch up with him tomorrow night. I have to ask, next to your name it says team name, privateer, none. How quickly will Greg Heady be on the phone, please?
I haven't heard anything from anyone. No, the boys at Perth, I don't know. I hang around them a bit, and they're always good. But yeah, we're running on our own at the moment.
Their call.
The phone's always there, but yeah, we've got to talk.
It seems to be working for you though. Race 2 obviously had to stay out of trouble. I want to hear it from your standpoint though, because we've obviously reviewed the tape. The incident along this strip of road with Jackson Sufong.
Well, I haven't heard what race control think yet, so I don't want to.
Well, there is no race control.
Yeah, I know, but we'll see. We'll see in the post tomorrow. I don't know. Regardless of who's at fault, I think it's a bit of a just you gotta pick your battles. I don't know. Maybe I could have waited a bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know, different classes, and you still got to pit. I don't know. Just yeah, I don't really think it made much sense, but we all get under the red mist, so I can't be angry at anyone. I've done that more times to people than it's been done to me, so it is what it is.
And,
Still won.
Well, that's exactly right. And Daniel Corresso and Adam Lavis will back me up here. That's exactly the line of arguments that we were mounting here in Central Commentary as well, mate. It was all sorts of different things going on, different strategies. One had stopped, one hadn't, different splits, whatever. So you've pretty much summed up everything that we were already talking about, but it's nice to get it from your standpoint as well. I guess very lucky in the grand scheme of things, mate, that you, if you did sustain any damage, it didn't hamper you for the rest of the night.
No, I think I'm well enough experienced in crashing that once we did start crashing, I sort of knew where to go to not end the race, and I hit the wall, but I don't really think I got any damage, to be honest.
Yeah. It must be nice to go out there and tick the box and get the double. I mean, we'll have a look at the results for this season before that, mate. I mean, I just want to bring that back up. I know Adam Lavis is tinkering with it at the moment, but 8th, 4th, 12th in the feature at Chicago, and that was a 10-second penalty that came your way there. Then last week, 3rd and 1st and 1st. So 3 podium finishes on the trot, 4 top 5s for the campaign. Whether the pro guys are here or not doesn't matter. You're in a purple patch of form at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to come back to just consistent racing, I guess. Missing out on Logitech at the start of the year, probably. I don't know. I missed it last year. I made it to the pre-Q stage this year, and I don't know. It's sort of when you don't make it, it's like where do you go from here? And so I don't know. Just coming back to GSRC, bit of consistent racing. Just I don't know, looking for the fun in it again. And yeah, I don't know. It's just good to get some good results and walk away happy, I guess.
His ears must have been burning. Greg Heaney's in the house and ready to rock and roll. We say goodbye to our good colleague and mate Daniel Correa-Sara as well. I've just had the message come through from him, and I only just caught it after he exited the building, unfortunately. He does have to head off, but he said it was nice to jump back in the booth, and hopefully he'll be back more often. We hope that he is as well. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. It was good to get your insights as per usual this evening. I have it set up on my PC screen, folks, that I don't get those notifications coming through as frequently as I do on the laptop, just because there's so many of them, as anyone with Discord and particularly part of GSRC knows. It's not an hour of the day where there isn't a notification of some sort coming through, so I've only just caught that as he's left the room. So it was good to have him back, and it's good to see him back out on the track as well, irrespective of the fact that whether he's in the commentary box or not. It's just great to see him back out there getting in the thick of it and having some fun, and hopefully we'll catch up with him more regularly as the season goes on. Going back to you, Fitzy, you say Coda's a new circuit, St Petersburg, well, that's a new one for everybody. That's an open playing field. So give me your thoughts on the next 2 weeks and how you go about trying to get your head around COTA. Firstly, I mean, it's a 14-year-old circuit, so the fact that it's new for you is interesting. You're not the only one. There's already been a couple of people tonight, so that they haven't got the circuit. But how do you go about preparing for next week, knowing that it's a fresh, blank slate for you?
I think a lot of the... sorry to bring them up again, but a lot of the Logitech boys will be back next week, and it's a track that I own the track. I've probably raced it maybe once, like an official NASCAR truck thing. I don't know. But it'll just be, I think I'll probably have a crack at actually doing some practice this week, like consistent laps every day to, I don't know, maybe actually see how close we can get to those wins next week. There's still a bit of a gap to be made, like, do you know what I mean? It's good to get these wins, but you want to be able to do it every week. Everyone says that, but yeah, there's still a gap to be made to the actual front, I think.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but I'm more trying to focus on how you as an individual goes about learning
a circuit. I'll have to do lots and lots of laps. I won't be touching much grass the next 2 weeks. We'll put it that way.
I was going to say, do you have much time in your schedule?
Yeah, I think it's just I don't know. I don't think Coda is much of a driver's track. I don't find that too fun. St. Petersburg I don't actually own, but we'll see what happens there.
Well, that's exactly right. We've got that in 2 weeks' time, and we're looking forward to St. Pete. As I said, Greg Heaney's ears must have been burning because I've already dropped his name, and now he's here in the booth with us. We'll hear from him shortly. Noah Kitcher we'll get to in a moment, and Andy Barber I'm very much looking forward to hearing from. But finishing with you, Fitzy, outside of the supercars, what else are you dipping your hat into the ring for?
Nothing. I did a spell. I did a spell in the OSR 12 hour in GT with the Per boys. It was good. Thanks to them for having me in that. But nothing really. I'm just a supercar one trick, to be honest.
All right, very nicely done. But in saying that, it doesn't hurt, depending upon your own, time constraints and the like. It doesn't hurt to necessarily have one project that you throw your effort into in the bid, rather than spreading yourself too thin. Just focus on one and try and reap the reward there.
Yeah, that, and I think everyone, once you get to a certain level, everyone gets a bit of fear of, I don't know, just going and trying different things because they won't be, like say for tonight, 2 wins in V8s. If I go race Porsche Cup tomorrow, there's a chance I'll probably, you know what I mean, be in dev class, so it's a bit of, you know what I mean, bit of pride in the way of going and trying new things, I think.
All right, very nicely done. Great to catch up with you, mate. It's been too long. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Not too many. GSRC for putting on the racing. Race control for whoever goes through the replay in their own time.
Yeah, good luck to them.
All the boys racing tonight. Yeah, Stumpy and his missus Redder. That's about it, really. That's all.
You could not have timed that comment about race control any better with the replay that was on screen at the time, Fitzy. I don't know if you were seeing that. But anyway, hey, well done, mate. Great work tonight. We'll look forward to following your progress again throughout the course of the rest of the season, mate. And again, with a view to what's ahead, again, we had this same conversation surrounding Jace Douglas last year, or last term, I should say. He eventually got across the line. Consistency was key and vitally important to that, as it will be for you, because without the Logitech boys here, you guys have got to take those opportunities when they're presented to you, and you've certainly done that tonight. Consistency wins championships, so it'll be interesting to see what you can muster up throughout the course of the remainder of the season, mate. Go well.
Thanks, boys. Thanks a lot for having me. Hopefully, Adam's put my name on a postcard at the end of the season.
Yes,
I'll see you, boys.
Exactly right. There he is, Blake Fitz. Great to catch up with him, of course. Part of the furniture here at the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Noah Kitcher, good evening.
Hey, mate, how are you?
I'm well. Give us the Noah Kitcher story, because let's be honest, we're looking at your name on the screen tonight, and it has the black plate, the orange number next to you, which means that you haven't yet been allocated a supercar split, which means you're a fresh newbie here. Give us the Noah Kitcher background.
Yeah, so obviously big thanks to the 104 boys for getting me into this team and letting me race tonight. It was very good. Pretty surprised with the result, to be honest. Yeah.
I couldn't help but also notice, has it now gone Thursday morning in your part of the world?
Indeed it has, yes. It is 12:05.
Well, I didn't want to give it away to everybody at home that might not have yet seen that information, but if they couldn't pick the Kiwi twang in there, they're not trying. But yes, see, we do have some guys from New Zealand that are still actually based in Australia, but they run with the New Zealand flag. So I just wanted to get to the bottom of that to confirm the whereabouts. Great to have 104 Motorsport part of the GSRC stable. Dream run for you, mate, particularly in that second race, I thought.
Yeah, I started up the front and then got into a little bit of a issue with the old safety car thing. Went in on the last lap and it said pit lane was open, but then it was closed, and so I had to get a hold for 40 seconds, so that wasn't ideal, but got to the back of the pack and then just fought my way through. So yeah, it was all right.
Baptism by fire coming to the streets of Long Beach and going toe-to-toe with 27 other lunatics, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, they made it pretty easy, so yeah.
you say easy, I guess you're very lucky in the sense that where all the incidents were, you didn't happen to be at the same time.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I was very lucky.
How much do you enjoy? Because obviously the 104 Motorsport stable. So before GSRC, what's the sim racing background been like? It's clear that you got the pace. Where have you been plying your trade before coming to our platforms, please?
So I race in Supercar.NZ. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Okay. Yep.
So that's a league in New Zealand that quite a lot of fast guys race in from Australia as well. So that's always good fun. So we race on Tuesday nights. So I got triple duties. I got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. So yeah, it's quite a handful. But wouldn't want to do anything else. So I love it.
When you say Thursday, is that Supercars or something else?
It's Rd-3 with
Okay.
with another league.
Very nice. Hopefully see you here in our 86 series at some point as well. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because we have a few guys that double up on a Wednesday night, run the 86 entree, and then jump in and do the Supercar main course. Where's your mindset when it comes to doing the double? Would you much rather just focus your energy on one?
No, I'd do both, to be honest. Any time I can get behind the wheel, I do, you know. I enjoy it. So, yeah, I think it would be something I'd look forward to.
And as a Kiwi, I guess there's a great desire from the entire iRacing contingent based in New Zealand, and there's a lot of you, for iRacing to get over there. And, well, they've already done Pukekohe, but surely they could have actually killed 2, 3, 4 birds with one stone on that trip.
Yeah, well, I would have thought there'd be a couple more, but I'm too sure.
I like it here how your 104 Motorsport spokesperson is giving you the briefing on who you've got to thank in the post-race show here in our comments section on YouTube. That's fantastic. Sometimes you do forget in the heat of the moment. But from your standpoint, are we going to see you on a more regular basis here on a Wednesday?
Yeah, so I actually signed a season contract with 104 Motorsports, so
lovely.
Yeah, should be here for all the Wednesdays coming up, so looking forward to it.
How familiar are you with the West layout at Kota? That's the next stop.
I've done the track a couple times, not in the Supercar, and then I've kind of just left it, so we'll have to blow the cobwebs off that and get some laps in, because I've heard these Logitech boys are pretty quick, so might have our hands full.
True. How much of the, because you mentioned Supercars NZ, and obviously when we talk about Logitech, that's our preeminent Supercar series in this country. At the moment, the crew from the Australian Sim Racing Group do a magnificent job. But how familiar are you with the upper echelons, the top tiers of sim racing in Australia? How much of those guys have you seen in action? Are you someone that gets a chance to watch sim racing that you're not part of, or not?
Yeah, so there's a few boys from the Logitech series that are in the Supercars NZ. I know Zach White and Rayhan race in Supercars NZ. And yeah, they're just out the front the whole time, so definitely hard to keep up with them, but yeah.
Indeed. Obviously tomorrow night 86s, next Tuesday night Supercars NZ, next Wednesday night Kota here for us. Looking forward to that. Look at the rest of the schedule. St Petersburg, blank slate for everybody, never been there in this series. It's the newest circuit on the iRacing universe on the server. What about Brands Hatch Road, Atlanta Road, America, Detroit? There's a lot of American circuits in all of that. And obviously, no doubt you're familiar with Mount Panorama in our backyard.
Yeah, no, I've definitely raced those tracks a few times. St Petersburg would be the one that I haven't done too many laps around. I have the track, but you haven't got round to doing too much of that. And yeah, the mountain's definitely one that I'm racing around quite a lot, so it should be good.
Last couple here before I get to Andy Barber and also Greg Heaney, who've been very patient sitting there waiting for their chance to have a chat. How much variance is there between your Supercar NZ calendar and our calendar, mate? Because we know some schedules differ. Some officials obviously carry over, and you guys will get an opportunity to go racing 3 times a week on the same racetrack. But my question is, how much variance is there between your Supercar NZ schedule on a Tuesday night and then your GSRC schedule on a Wednesday night? And how do you go about preparing for both racetracks, especially when the ladder's going to be run on a 24-hour turnaround?
Yeah, so it's actually perfect. The races are like the officials. So last night was Long Beach and Supercars NZ, and then tonight's Long Beach. So it just carries over. So yeah, it's just like a bit of extra practice. Beautiful.
I like it, because that isn't always the case, which is why I asked the question, because sometimes the officials might offer up something dodgy, so there's a little bit of a switcheroo done, but obviously not the case here, which is great. So Coda West next week, looking forward to that. So it's already been done for you in the comments, but here's your opportunity. Who would you like to thank before I let you go?
Big thanks to Index Designs for the paint job, looking pretty good, and 104 Motorsport for bringing me in, and yeah.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Hey, you're welcome back here anytime. Great to have you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and the 104 Motorsport stable at large as well. Great result tonight. Look forward to seeing you tearing it up out there when we get to Coda next week.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
There he is, Noah Kitcher. Very nicely done. Andy Barber, let's hear from you, please. Thanks for hanging out here and waiting for an opportunity to have a chat with us. Well done. I mean, tough old night out there, but you chipped away at it quite nicely, I thought. Ryan wasn't necessarily so lucky getting caught up in an incident in the second race, but it's a tough old slog, this Supercar series, especially street racing. And Long Beach threw everything at you guys tonight.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And yeah, thanks for having us up here and having a bit of a chat. And yeah, no, it was definitely challenging tonight. The walls are pretty unforgiving, and yeah, just tried to get a good starting spot, which I managed to get for the first race. And yeah, just working out who I was racing throughout that race and who was in what split, and just trying to maintain that lead. But looks like we've been elevated into elite now and slotted 7th in the series, so pretty happy with that actually. But yeah, no, I just heeded Adam's advice probably a week ago, where just give it all you've got and do the best you can do, and the rest will sort it out.
Well, that's exactly right. And no sooner were you talking about that, I was going looking for the same piece of information, and I'm looking at, and it's 7th, right? So let's analyse this, and Adam will have the points up on screen very shortly for you folks once they're all done and finalised and ready to rock and roll. But 3 wins on the Chicago Street Circuit, 4th last week VIR, 1st and 2nd in the 2 split races tonight here in the Dev split. Bodes pretty well for your elevation into the elite series, especially when you consider, mate, that there's more points on offer. There's more races in this series than what we've had previously. There's 17. I think the previous we've had 16 or 15, but we've got 17 this campaign, including 2 super sprints. And you're only 55 points off the front. These are extraordinary numbers, and there's still 7 rounds to go. So plenty of opportunity to chip away at the deficit with the guys ahead, knowing full well that James Scott wasn't here tonight. There's another maybe 1 or 2 pro rounds to come between now and the end of the season as well. You're right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, I haven't really used the circuit setup relative to the circuit yet so far. I kind of tried to fudge an Adelaide Street Circuit one for tonight, and I found it was a little bit fast but taily, but made a couple of changes to it and just sent it off there. And yeah, I guess joining this league probably late last year, I was just trying to essentially just get faster in the supercar, and I figured that if I surrounded myself with faster guys in a suitable league, that naturally my pace would improve. And I feel that has been the case. And we do also have a bit of rivalry with Junior as well. We like to rib each other, even being on the same team, and I guess that's healthy too. So overall, yeah, I definitely think I'm a lot faster than what I was 6 months ago, and that was the aim. It was more just a personal goal for me, but I'm really enjoying this season after last year, kind of trying to sort out the who's who of who, and who's going to give room and who's not. So lots of things to learn, and yeah, definitely enjoying it.
It's interesting because obviously we've been following the Barber story, watching you guys come in, cleaning it up last term, of course, in the Dev split. It was great to be able to call the action there. I mean, we were able to do some of those broadcast live, others had to be delayed. You know the drill. But in all of that, mate, let's be honest. It's one thing to talk about constantly chopping and changing between the two servers. I wish you could run both at once. That'd be the scientists of the world would be all over you, just clamouring for a piece of you, just to be able to say, what's this bloke doing and how's he able to do it, please? But really, I think you nailed the point. It's a testament to the hard miles, the hard yards that you've put in, and the constant improvement that's come with that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you only get out of it the amount of time that you put in, and naturally I do practice for these races as well to try and be as fast as I can, and if I'm in the development split, I'm naturally going to try and win that, and if I'm in the lead, I'll try and finish as far up as possible. I mean, we're surrounded by V8 Pro guys, and they're very good to learn off, and you'll probably find me in a couple of races letting those guys pass and using tactical measures to try and, maximise my points, so... it's just been great, a whole learning curve, and really proud, like with the Gremlin Motorsports car, with it being painted. Junior and I lost my dad last year in August, and that's actually a replica of his paint job from the Speedway from 1986, so people don't really know it's a 40-year-old paint job, and we stuck it on a 2026 Camaro and sent it, but definitely proud to be doing that for him, and he used to love watching our races last year in some other NASCAR leagues and Supercar Oval leagues we do, so we've just built on that camaraderie and just try to make him proud, and we named the Gremlin Motorsports after him because his nickname was Gremlin. So I noticed you guys asked during the broadcast probably a couple of races ago about who's who and what the story is, so that's basically what it is, and Junior's my son, and we just do something together and just try and kick as much ass as we can.
And you're doing a pretty bloody good job of that at the moment, let's be perfectly honest. And in fact, actually, last term, during one of our replays, your grandma was watching, and she was chiming in the comments and giving us a bit of the intel as well. And this is one of the elements that I love, and we saw it with the Toyotas, we see it with the Supercars, mate. Tribute liveries. You can make them work on just about anything, from any discipline, from any walk of life. We've seen in the real world, I've seen Supercar liveries replicated on XLs, for goodness sake. So tribute liveries, there's a lot of love, there's a big vibe on that, isn't there?
That's right, and it's a lot of family legacy as well, so us continuing that on in his name is, we're very, very proud of that, and we just try and do the best we can, and just having the car painted exactly like it was back in the day, racing at Archfield Speedway, and a bit of a tribute on that for him with Gremlin, so it's really, really good, and we find that we're gelling in with this group of people really well, just really looking forward to the experience and moving up. So now I'm in elite, I'll probably just be trying to aim for a top 5, and I'll be super stoked with that. So I'm sure the V8 Pro guys next week will definitely teach me a few new tricks as well.
Well, that's exactly right, mate. The other point I should make with all of that, you mentioned Archerfield, obviously, big blow to Speedway in this part of the world to lose that. Obviously, the great people over at Toowoomba are picking up the freight there, but hopefully we'll see something come back closer to the metropolitan parts, Brisbane and even the Gold Coast where you guys are, in due course. Talk to me about, I was particularly impressed, and this is when I started making comment about, hang on, it can't be too long before you're up in the elite school. Dream running qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was very, very surprised by that. I jumped in the practice server and I went straight to the top. I'm like, hang on, I'm using an Adelaide queue setup here, so I didn't really change too much. I only made a couple of light changes and really tried to replicate that in the server, and I got frustrated because I couldn't put that banker lap in first, and it was only at the very end where I pinched it, and I went actually straight to P1, and I'm just like, no way, that's not possible. And lucky I did just get eclipsed by Blake at the end there, because it would have been pretty surreal starting off that one spot. So pretty good for a set of V3 pedals and a Logitech steering wheel.
Well, that's exactly right. But talk to me about a couple of things here. Obviously, great result, but we're not taking anything away from that. Real world, sim world. Obviously, you guys do a fair bit in the sim world now. Do you get a chance to do any real world stuff these days, or not?
No, we used to do some real world stuff previously, just prior to COVID, and that kind of killed it off for us. And then I went away because, believe it or not, actually go overseas and chase tornadoes in America in their storm season. But when I came back from that, the kids actually set up like a steering wheel and whatever, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then next minute they've loaded up this game, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. So, and yeah, now the tide's turned because, yeah, like I said, I've got my little, I got my G920 or whatever it is and V1s, and yeah, Junior's pretty much gone all out and got a full track racer rig and 4 screens and
Love it.
Moser wheel and things like that. So he's definitely going to be more on the pace with me in terms of equipment, but I just like jumping on and having fun and yeah, just giving it a send and having fun for the night.
He actually showed some glimpses of that because in that second race, he has still as a Dev Studio driver got the fastest overall lap for the whole race. So
Yeah, he was actually scolding about that, funnily enough, Adam, because he came out here and he's like, oh, load the race results. And I'm like, well, I know where we finished. And then, yeah, I scrolled down and saw the purple there, and I'm like, well, you're coming to Elite with me, I feel. So, I think that was the case he got dragged over to.
not quite yet.
Not quite yet. No, not quite yet. So he'll be scouting for a different reason now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there you go.
He can be the big fish in the small pond, and you can be the little fish in the big pond. On that subject, you mentioned the equipment. It is such a minefield, right? Do you look at the increased presence that you're having in the sim world and thinking, well, maybe I need to start looking into what I can do budget-wise to maybe go in Junior's direction and update some of the infrastructure you've got there at your disposal?
To be honest, yes, because when I do walk into his room, I see his massive rig there, and I'm kind of jelly in a way. But
I love it.
I guess also with the force feedback wheels and that kind of thing, you got a lot more feedback through the steering wheel than what you traditionally do with these ones. And like my pedals, I actually bought off Sebastian Barndell, believe it or not. So I got him to sign the bottom of them for me for good luck, and yeah, they seem to be doing all right still. And I let him know probably about 6 weeks ago that I'm still using them, and he couldn't believe it. So.
I love that. Hey, you've been very good with your time, mate. Greg Heaney's still standing by. I want to get to him in a moment. So, last couple of things here. Obviously, you've got an opportunity to thank whoever you want. But before that, let's talk Coda, the West configuration next week. Your immediate thoughts on that and how you might fare.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to tackle that one. New challenge being the West variation. Luckily enough, in one of the other NASCAR truck leagues I did a week ago, we did a race there. So, I am familiar with the track. So it'd definitely be interesting to see how the Supercar goes around there. But yeah, trying to get a setup and set it up to be competitive is going to be a bit tricky, especially with the slow corners and the fast straight. So yeah, no, definitely looking forward to a different variation. But I certainly feel that my strength at the moment is on the street circuits. So I'll definitely be looking at the more traditional circuits to try and improve my lap times and be a bit more quicker.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Here's your opportunity. Thank whoever you want to thank.
No worries. Just thanks for you guys for having me up here. Hopefully I didn't drag on too much. But yeah, no, just you guys for putting on the league. And it's a great bunch of guys. I love racing around you guys each week. It's definitely a challenge. And yeah, yeah, the league, GSRC, the broadcast, all the hard work that you guys put into it. I mean, you just do it, nearly every night, which is insane. So we're very grateful for that because we do love going back and watching the races. And yeah, just the Gremlin Motorsports team, Junior, and yeah, just a shout out to my mum in Takura, and yeah, kudos to my dad.
Well, Junior's just slid into the commentary box as well, so we're going to hear from him very shortly.
You'll never get rid of him. You'll never get rid of him.
But he's going to have to wait though, because Greg Heaney's been patient enough, and late arrival, he can be last cab off the rank. But I'm looking forward to hearing from getting Ryan's version of events, especially from the fact that he ran into a moving roadblock there earlier in the piece and had no reaction time whatsoever, and still recovered to get the fastest lap of the race. Very nicely done, Andy. Great to have you here, mate. Look forward to catching up as the season goes on, and good luck in the Elite Split next week.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ryan, we'll get to you in a moment. Greg Heaney, good evening. How quickly are you on the blower to Blake Fitz and saying, come and join Whiskey Business Racing, please?
I can't remember if I have or haven't already asked him that question at one point in time. I'd have to go back and have a look at the chat thread to see if I had or hadn't already asked him.
As soon as I saw Privateer next to his name and the results tonight, I was like, hang on a moment. Let's have a chat about a couple of things here, mate. Obviously, unlucky for you, bit of a tough old night out on the streets of Long Beach. I can't help but feel that we've put the mocker on you, because every time we went to a replay and you were there, I was like, hang on, what's happened now? Because we hadn't seen any sort of positional movement. We saw you on the tow rope. We saw, it was just one of those nights, unfortunately for you. But a pretty good night out, all things considered, for the rest of the stable. Great to see Pagey having a good run. Dane Snadden unlucky, though, early in the piece there. Led the field to green off the safety car restart, and then into the wall at 1, like so many before him and after him tonight.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Dane. He did unfortunately go like his call was basically, I'm in deep, oh, I'm done, as he found the wall. I myself, I just couldn't get the car right tonight. Like, Luke Page did a mountain of work for us, setting up a couple of particular setups for race 1 and race 2, so the enough fuel to get us through on race 1, and then obviously as much fuel as we need for race 2, and then getting caught up in the kerfuffle at the start of race 2. And yeah, I will admit, it was me that threw the safety car. I checked to make sure that when there was that many people that got caught up in it and affected by the race, or affected by the incident at the start, it's warranted to throw a safety. While I was uploading the replay for the guys in race control, I was watching the replay back, and even you blokes in the comm box were in agreement that, hang on, that probably should be a yellow flag. And quietly chuckling to myself with Dan's comments with the replay of Blake's incident on the back straight. Of course, San Francisco put the building there. That was funny.
Yes.
Sorry, California it was.
California.
That was funny.
Right coast, wrong city. Yeah.
Yeah, I was close enough. I don't know. If you ask the Americans, they think they're all the...
Well, yeah, exactly. Oh, mate, I don't even want to get started on what's going on in America at the moment. Let alone what's going on in my inbox. But anyway, let's have a chat about a couple of things here. Yes, you did deploy the safety car. That's fair. Good luck with race control, having a look at the Fitz incident and so many others tonight across both series. It was a chaotic sort of carnage and drill night. But a game-changing moment from you throwing that safety car, because it caught a few people off guard, in the sense that so many decided to gamble and stay out there when it was very clear that it was going to put us right in the window to make it work while stopping under the safety car.
Yeah, well, I mean, that certainly wasn't my intention. Obviously, the intention was to allow the guys that were caught up in the incident at the start to be able to recover and get back onto the back of the train and go from there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my tow time, obviously the way that iRacing works is, if you're towing and then a safety car gets thrown you, then your tow time doubles. So
yep.
I ended up well and truly on the back of the train, and then whilst trying to see if there was an option on the menu that I had available to me to shorten the safety car up, almost put it into the back of the train. Had to dive and clouded the fence. And
I'll set you up with a macro afterwards.
Yeah, if it works, Mav, without a stream deck and only my keyboard in front of me.
You just put it
in front of me.
Yeah, you put it in the iRacing, same as the pass left, pass right section.
Yeah, I don't even use those. I've got a steering wheel and a VR headset.
Now, Greg, on that subject, unfortunate that you had to neutralise the race and sacrifice yourself at the same time, or compromise yourself at the same time, I guess.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate, but move on to next week and see how we go. A little bit more of an open track next week, so and the front straight is certainly a lot wider before you find any sort of barrier. So with any luck, we don't have a repeat, but we'll see how we go.
Great run for Pagey, getting second in the feature, as we saw on the points there a few moments ago, only 14 points off Blake Fitz now, who is the new points leader in the elite split. Adam Haynes sits third, 3:33 and 3:16 for Jace Douglas. The defending champion, 3:07 for his teammate Alex Tzikis, And then you get to James Scott, who was in the Pro Series tonight, 304, 298 for Randy Barber and 289 for Sam Blacklock. Also not here tonight, nor was Sam Cullen. Johnny Bannack was away, and Bondi, of course, 7th and 8th for him as well. So he makes up the top 11. This new points matrix, I don't mind it, boys. I mean, look at that. Top 7 covered by 55. Game on in the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's so I don't know if it's been covered off on a broadcast or not. So obviously the new points matrix rewards everybody that is here to support the club. So if you finish your races, you get rewarded. If you're here, you get rewarded. Obviously, there are the guys that are off doing the Pro Invitational Series and so forth like that, which is no issues, and congrats to them to getting into that. It's for everybody else that turns up every week and reaps the benefits.
Indeed, and as I said with Fitzy, you may have heard that earlier, because he was talking about, I don't know how I'm going to stack up against those guys, but in the grand scheme of things, if he can stay consistent, like Jace Douglas did, you can scrape away with the championship at the end of 10 weeks, but you've got to stay consistent, because if you have a DNF or a bad round, they rule you in pretty quickly.
Oh, most definitely.
Dave Oliver reckons, Dave Oliver, who will be happy to see the back of Long Beach, I would dare say, because it was just a skid pan for him at the end of the night. That thing just did not want to slide controllably for him. He was slip sliding all over the place, unfortunately. He reckons we'll be 8 wide going into turn 1 at COTA next week. Well, if we can go 4 wide, albeit, end up wrecking at Long Beach. Yeah, we can probably go 8 wide at COTA. Test the
maybe at the top of the hill.
Yeah, maybe at the top of the hill, certainly not at the bottom. It's an interesting racetrack, isn't it, Greg? But I'm glad that we're on the West configuration. That seemed to be the better of them for the tin tops. Your thoughts on how you might fare there?
Yeah, we'll see how we go next week. I haven't turned any laps on that configuration, though I generally try to steer clear of COTA myself. I'm not a huge fan of the track. And yeah, after Nords this weekend, and then on to Brands on Monday, and then back for GT3 for Supercars.
Have a look at the cage. Oh, and even you couldn't escape without incident there. Ryan reckons we're going 10 wide. We'll hear from Ryan in just a moment. Formula V could go 10 wide. I'm not sure about the Supercar. Greg, when are you next on track, please?
Back on track on Friday night in the GEC. Yep.
Very nicely done. Looking
and I do apologise to clouding Marty off the start of race 2. I was blinded in the smoke as it's come out of the smoke. I'm like, oh God, there's a car there.
Yep. Ryan knows what that's all about, but that was much later in the race at higher speed, so we'll hear from him about that in just a moment. Very nicely done, Greg, and also, of course, sitting fourth in the point standings in the dev split at the end of all of that. Nathan Michael, a 4th and a 13th tonight. And Trav Azzopardi wasn't on the grid. I don't think I've left anybody out. I think I've covered everybody there. So things are going all right for the WBR stable, and we'll see some of those guys on track tomorrow night in the Porsches, no doubt. Good luck on Friday night. Not sure if it's broadcast yet or not. We'll confirm that on Friday, but I look forward to catching up with you at some point down the track, if not before COTA, certainly when we get there next Wednesday.
No worries.
There he is, Greg Heaney, the head honcho, the main man of whiskey business racing. I had a bit of that last night, the old whiskey. Doesn't go down too badly at all. Ryan Barber, great to have him stopping on by last cab off the rank tonight. Last but certainly not least, Ryan, a bit of a wild sort of ride for you in race 2. It kind of got absolutely ripped out from under you. Any chance of a result there because of the incident on the main straight, but you recovered nicely with the fastest lap of the race at the end.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate what happened at on the front straight there. I didn't really have anywhere to go, and I was going too quick to really do anything about it. So I tried to slow down and pray that I didn't make contact, but you know, you can't really avoid that situation at that speed, especially since the corner is pretty fairly blind when you're going around there. But you know, I was pretty cut up after that. I felt like I was on for a good result. That early pace car gave me an opportunity to come into the pit lane and get the compulsory pit stop done, and so the plan was to just try and overtake people and see where I end up when everyone else comes in. But since I got ruined by the accident, I was a bit upset, so I pushed the car on old tyres to see what would happen, and yeah, I ended up getting the quickest time of the race, which shocked me.
It's unfortunate in many respects, but at the same time, it's one of those ingredients that we just associate. We come to expect that somebody's going to get caught up as an innocent bystander in someone else's garbage on a street circuit like this. And unfortunately for you, just no reaction opportunity time whatsoever. But in saying that, no doubt, just tapping the old boy on the shoulder there, sticking it up him, saying, look, who got the fastest lap. But also at the same time, quite happily waving him off into the elite split whilst you lead the dev split.
Yeah, I think that's pretty funny. I think he expected us both to go up into elite tonight because the pace I had. I was unfortunate to get caught up in the pile up in the first race at the hairpin there, and I couldn't really do anything to avoid that. And then I got caught up in that second race, which I ended up needing to come in for my fast repair. But I'm glad that he's in the other split now. I can focus on trying to win the development series, but I doubt I'll stay down here for long. I should move up shortly anyway, so it's only a matter of time before we're both up there. But for now, he can brag that he's an elite driver and I'm just like a little development driver. But I walked out of my room after the race and I had a bit of a smart ass look on my face, and he asked me what was up, and I pulled up the results in front of him and I pointed at the screen and I was like, look, he got the fastest lap, and he was pretty shocked. So some friendly banter and competition in the household, and it's always good to pull up week to week and give it a crack.
Given the part of the world that you two blokes live in, you'd be pretty cut up, wouldn't you, if you ever had one of those nights where weather or just the general third world technology that we associate with being a first world country, by which I mean internet, wouldn't it be a double whammy for you if you had either packet loss rule you out or a power outage rule you out? Because let's be perfectly honest, if it's going to claim you, it's going to claim him as well, because you're running off the same network.
Yeah, that's right. It's claimed us twice so far, and we've established in this household that the bottom of the house and the top of the house are on two different power grids. So my end of the house has a power cable for the router, and his doesn't. So there has been situations where that end of the house has gone out of power, and I've been up here still racing. So fortunate not that hasn't happened in any important scenarios where we're actually in contention for a championship yet. But I touch wood, hopefully that doesn't happen when we're given the crack this season, but it's definitely happened before.
Well, that's exactly right. Thankfully we're out of storm season for the moment anyway, so hopefully not an issue to worry about too much as far as this term's concerned, or next term. But once we get to October, all bets are off, and I say that because I'm in Ipswich and I know exactly what you're experiencing there when those big storm cells rip on through. It ruled me out of the commentary gig earlier in the season, back in term 1, Australia Day of all days. Everyone couldn't handle 40 degrees at home, and the power grid just said, you know what, I'm going to shut down for a little while. So let's have a chat about a couple of other things here before I let you go, mate. Firstly, let's be perfectly honest. It's not lost on you that you may well join Andy up in the elite split at some point. It shouldn't be viewed as a deterrent. It should actually be viewed as it's a pat on the back for good effort and improvement as a racer, both in terms of results and also in terms of lap times and consistency and all the developmental things that we associate with why we love the GSRC so much. The way in which we get to sit here in the commentary box and watch you guys improve term on term, it's not lost on us. And then it gives you guys extra incentive because it means that you've got to up your game again to try and go and take the fight to the elite competitors of V8 Pro, etc.
Yeah, that's right. And Dad's a bit more experienced than me when it comes to road, and he does a lot more officials and he practices a lot more than I do. So, I started actually sim racing properly and actually putting time into it 2.5 years after he did. So, he got a bit of a head start, and I'm trying to catch up. And but I'm very NASCAR focused as well. Like majority of all my races, I'm just turning left. So.
Yes.
It's good to break it up and but I'm kind of using
There it is. There's your moment. That's it right there. Unfortunately, the Revolution E-Racing entry, that was Cooper Cottrell that you collected on the way through there, but he was bouncing off the walls like someone had batted him like a piñata, and unfortunately just gave you nowhere to go. Can we take the onboard shot with Ryan again on that, please, Adam? Just have a look at this. Watch this for a lack of reaction time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Adam
come on, boys.
steps ahead of me here. Here it is.
Yeah, come on, boys. Break my heart.
2, 1. Uh-oh.
You can see that you thought he was going to bounce away from the ball, but he's just ended up staying there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was just trying to go where I thought he wasn't going to be, and I misjudged that. So, yeah, a bit unlucky. But I forgot what we're talking about. My heart's broken again. So,
yeah, true. Can we actually rewind that and take the aerial shot just to see if there would have been a way for him to get through the middle unscathed, or whether the two of them were blocking the circuit properly and there was just nowhere to go? Here it is from the aerial shot, because we didn't get a chance to have a look at this earlier. Would there have been a way through? You're not going to tell in that sort of smoke. There would have been, but it probably would have brought you undone.
Lane 3 was the only one open.
Lane 3, yeah, exactly. But you can't make that decision because, let's be perfectly honest, Ryan, full speed, you try and, start the car to the left that quickly, you're probably spearing off into the wall and joining them in company.
Yeah, you pretty much have 3 seconds, if that, to react to the accident, and it just pretty much comes up to reaction time and instinct, really. So it's not like you can look at the left, go cool, that's clear, because the moment you go left to go around and the car's bouncing off the wall, or there's not really much that you can do, especially when we're going 260 odd kilometers around that bend, I do believe. But like you can see on track, like it ripped the front right of my car out and gave me some engine damage as well. Yeah, I got a meatball. So I had to come in, grab a fast repair and go back out, and that's when I ended up setting the quickest time of the race, which I actually felt was a pretty decent time, especially since the same set of tyres that are on the car that you can see here at the moment, it's the same set of tyres that I actually set the time with. So I feel like my pace tonight was alright, and hopefully I can turn up to Coda next week and give it another crack and try and poke my nose into Elite.
Here we go.
Are we watching this fast part now?
I'm starting it now.
Yeah, beautiful. Here it is. So we get the ride on board and watch your fastest lap of the race efforts here, mate. A clear track's a blessing in disguise, isn't it? But I'm going to be interested to see, because Andy's already mentioned about upgrading the rig for him, having had a look at your setup and thinking I want a piece of that myself. I'm very interested to see who comes up or comes out on top, rather, when you guys are working with equal equipment.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mission to get him up to what I got, because it took me about a year and a half. I got like a Moser wheel set up, shifter, handbrake. I got the VRS pedals, and I got like the full track racer TR160 rig, and then I've planted 4 monitors on it. So he's got monitors. He just needs to upgrade his equipment. It's a massive difference going from like a Logitech G920 to a direct drive as well. It usually helps to catch the slide and be able to feel the track a lot more. So I feel like once he tries to upgrade his equipment, he's definitely going to be a lot harder to keep up with.
All right, very nicely done. Before I let you go, thoughts on COTA next week? Obviously, it is a circuit that NASCAR visits in the real world, so I'm sure you're familiar with it, but it is a different beast in a supercar.
Yeah, I did a league race the other week, actually, and it was in the the NASCAR truck car. So I do have some knowledge of how to get around there in the truck, but obviously you just said that the supercars are a completely different beast. it's obviously built to go right and left, and it has a lot more downforce than NASCAR does, I feel. So I'm looking forward to it. I do like the track, and I think it's going to be very tricky as well. There's a few parts of the track that will catch people out, especially turn 1 there. It's even though it's uphill, it's still a heavy braking zone, and the corner's very sharp, so cars might get together there as well. And there's a couple other spots in the track there where, you know, overtaking opportunities will be good. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to not only race Coda next week. I do love that track, but it's going to be good for the boys and girls at home that are watching the race unfold.
Indeed. Just having a look here too. Noah Kitcher, no surprise, has been put into the elite split on points tonight as well, folks. For third for the round. Honours going to Blake Fitz ahead of Luke Page. And only 2 points in at second to third, but 17 clear was Fitz at the end of all of that. Ryan holds on to Dev Honours for the moment. And it's interesting too, 41 points covers the top 3 there, but 55 covers the top 7 in the elite split at the moment. Ryan, who do you want to thank?
Cool. First of all, I'd like to thank Dad. Congratulations on moving up to elite. Look forward to follow him up there and start banging doors with him as well. So I'm not going to give him any room on track either. So whatever room I've given him so far, forget it. So I'd like to thank Dad for racing with me here. It's been good to jump in every week. I'd like to thank my regular team. We do run under Gremlin Motorsports here, but Southern Stars as well with the boys, Tom, Adam, Darren, my grandmother that's up north as well. Looking forward to seeing her soon. It's good to have her supporting me on the broadcast. I'd like to thank my partner Tammy, and I would like to thank you guys in the commentary booth. So I'll pull up next week and give it a crack and see what happens, and hopefully I can jump in next week and actually have a chat to you guys on the podium.
I hope so too, mate, and thank you for the entertainment you've given us, the action all of you have brought to the table this evening, because without that, there's no point us being here. So, great to have you in the booth, mate. Look forward to catching up as the season goes on. Enjoy the rest of the night, and good luck with the NASCAR stuff in other leagues around the world between now and when we go to Coda next Wednesday night.
All right, thank you, legends. I'll see you later.
There he is, Ryan Barber. Good to catch up with him. Good to catch up with Andy as well. A couple of first-timers in the post-race show tonight, because, as we said earlier, there's been a couple of instances where we've wanted to catch up with these guys, but we've been doing replay broadcasts, and not everybody's available to have a chat at 3 o'clock on a weekday afternoon. Thank you to Ryan, thank you to Andy, thank you to everybody else. Great post-race show here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I won't spoil the results from the Logitech G Pro Invitational for you in the event that some of you are planning to go and have a look at that between now and our next broadcast here on the platforms of the GSRC. Well worth the price of admission if you've got the time to go and have a look at Road Atlanta whenever the Supercars or any other discipline of race car visits that circuit. It's important to note. Adam Lavis, some final thoughts from you. Big night, good night, quality night.
Yeah, it's a good night race. Yeah, Long Beach really threw it on tonight. Well, obviously, a little bit of unfortunateness as what comes with the concrete canyon around here, but yeah, a couple of guys and had a couple of good nights, and yeah, to see with all that drama we had in race 2, and also just the fact that it's a concrete canyon and reverse grids, they have 2 back-to-back winners in the 2 races. It's yeah, well done on them, and we didn't get back-to-back winners in the dev splits. We didn't get the full hat trick, but but yeah,
close enough.
But yeah, it was still a decent effort.
Because Ryan picked up a first and a second there in all of that. Andy picked up a first and a second there in all of that. And in fact, who inherits the win if he's getting promoted up? So Jeff Adams got the dev split on his.
So it's only the people getting instant promoted that change results. So he's still classified as the dev winner for tonight, and then after tonight he's been moved for next week.
Okay, cool. Right, cool. So after that's taken into consideration the points that we've read there earlier, which saw a tie for third between Nathan Michael and Daniel Sneddon in the elite split. a win for, in the dev split, a win for Jeff Adams and a second for Ross Amor. That's after all those calculations have come into consideration. So as you can see there, Andy Barber still listed as first and second, but obviously has been promoted on up into the elite split, I should say. It's getting late. I'm getting half of it and my divisions mixed up right now. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to you, Adam Lavis. Good luck tomorrow night in the Vs and the Porsches. We do it with thanks to Waste Options, Disruptive Labs, Trophi.AI, GSRC.inc, and also Flash Graphics. Great to have all their input, their ongoing support. Some of them for the longest period of time here on the platforms. The Gentleman Sim Racing Club have been watching the action live across Facebook and YouTube, as per usual, and there's still plenty on the way as well. So let's have a look at what's coming up between now and this time next week. So tomorrow night, Matt Schmidtke's here. I'm here. Summit Point's the venue for Formula V. 3 sprint races there, then a 40-minute out-and-out fight from the Red Bull Ring in Austria for the Porsche Elite Cup. We are bringing in the Elite Split tomorrow night. That's 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. The V's get us underway 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're on air a couple of minutes before that. 200 plus kilometres from Daytona on Friday night. That equates to about, 75 minutes of racing for the Gentlemen's Endurance Championship. That gets underway 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If we are on air, we'll be on air a couple of minutes prior to that, but no guarantee of that at this point in time. Bit of a fluid situation at the moment, but hoping once everything's set up infrastructure-wise at Joe Baldwin's end that he's back in the server as a racer for one and back with us on a Friday night for two. The Friday night wheel spin to determine the venue of choice, the car of choice, I should say, for the venue that is Mount Panorama Ballast, the Mountain Men tradition. That is, yes?
There's currently a vote going on because this weekend has the NERBS 24 official.
Oh, yes.
And it's one of the bigger events, and generally speaking, the Mountain Men usually suffer on those weekends. There's probably a strong chance we'll probably skip Mountain Men this week, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But at the moment, that's the leading of the vote. Is the guys want to just skip a week and we'll do it next week?
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't reschedule it for week 11, say? You'd just cut it all together?
I believe so.
Copy. All right. So stand by for confirmation with regards to all that. But normally, on a Saturday night, it is Mountain Men night on the platforms of the GSRC. Normally, they would necessitate a wheel spin on the Friday night to determine the car of choice for 32 laps around Mount Panorama Bathurst, a venue that we will be visiting later in the season in our broadcast servers as well. Next week gets underway on Monday Night Motorsport with a trip to Miami straight after Formula 1 exits. We arrive with Formula 3 thanks to Waste Options. Sprint racing next Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to that. Then on to Brands Hatch for the first of the 4 sprint rounds of this campaign for the GT3 series with thanks to Waste Options. Our focus will be on the AM split for the first time this season in race 1. The Pro Split for race 2, again 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, the entree from 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. That is a public holiday in some parts of the country, the Northern Territory and Queensland, but hopefully you'll be with us for that. And of course, earlier in the day, if you can get to 9 now or 7 plus, either one, they are paying tribute to the great Dennis Cometti. His memorial service is taking place at Optus Stadium in Perth. So for anyone in the West, that is live on your telly on 7 and 9 from around 2:20, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Western Standard Time, 4:30 Eastern on Monday afternoon, and we're on pretty much immediately straight after that. Committee choice Tuesday night, the FIA Cross Car from Irwindale Speedway, the figure of 8 configuration there. Oh well, that'll be fun. Heats and feature racing, server open 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday night, as we've already detailed, we're off Dakota. Looking forward to that immensely. Coach of the venue, and the order of the equation there, the order of the day will be 40 minutes for both the GR86s and the Supercars. So out with the sprint racing, back in with the one-off 40-minute affair, and 7:30 Eastern Standard Time will be on air, and 8:45 for the Supercars. At this point in time, it looks as though Yaden and Lavis are committed to a switcheroo again with regards to Mondays and Wednesdays, but that's a fluid situation as well. The commonality is that I will be here. So it'll be either one of you.
Well, yeah, basically I've got to wait till Friday or Sunday morning before Yeaman knows what he's doing the week next. So we'll figure it out. We'll go from there.
exactly. And it's been nice to see you having a run, actually, at the GT3 and the Formula 3 on a Monday night. Quickly, what have you been making of those, considering that it's a novelty for you to actually get out there and have a race in those two cars?
Oh, the Formula 3 I've done before, and it's I don't know what it is, but my driving style seems to seem to be a bit more competitive in open wheelers. So I've got pace to be around about there or thereabouts to annoy people, but not quite enough to get to the top. But still, I'm there. So just need to find that little extra. It's just a matter of committing with those cars, because you've got to really trust the aero and go for it. The GT3s, it's very hit and miss and track dependent for me, because like as I said, I've only really driven GT3s in the special iRacing events for the Enduros.
Or Mountain Men. Yep.
Oh, really, not even the Mountain Men. It's usually the legacy ones, which are years old and no longer relevant.
Rubbish.
So, well, no, I wouldn't say rubbish. We did the Z3 last week. It's a wonderful car still, but obviously it doesn't really compare to the other ones. But it hasn't been touched in like 4 years. So, but yeah, so. And also, I was also in the Mustang, which got the bad end of the stick with the mid-season bop. So, it was no longer have any straight line speed, and my car's heavier, so it's just not ideal. But we'll see how we go.
All right, very nicely done. I'll either see you Monday or Wednesday, whichever the case may be. Matt Schmidtke's here tomorrow night. We hope you will be as well, ladies and gentlemen. And for cricket fans, plenty still to come on a big Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, of course, we'll go around the grounds, have live updates from the AFL and the opening game of the Women's State of Origin Series Rugby League for 2026. But if you're a cricket fan, tonight you've got finals in the Pakistan Super League. From midnight Eastern Standard Time, that's on ESPN, and of course the IPL, the Mumbai Indians and the Sunrisers Hyderabad will be on Fox and KO from midnight as well, which is only an hour away. So that's Eastern Time, of course. We're already past midnight in New Zealand, and we're coming up towards 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Hope you enjoyed all of that for the last 3.5 hours. A big night of racing on the streets of Long Beach in California. The Concrete Canyon delivered pure excitement and great entertainment right from first until last in the 86s, and then the Supercars even backed it up. And I was actually convinced the 86s would be the better of the two shows, but they're probably on par, because the Supercars brought everything to the table and then some. And a bit of post-race work for our GSRC stewards team to work their way through. Good luck in advance, boys. Hope you enjoyed that. On behalf of Adam Lavis, Daniel Correa, who it was great to have back in the booth for the first time in far too long, and the entire broadcast commentary and production team here, I'm Zach Caven. We look forward to your company same time, same place tomorrow night for our last night of competition for the month of April and the first third of the year. Night 3, week 3, term 2, done and dusted. We'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, bye for now.